the collapse of riverbanks over the July 4th weekend.
The Guadalupe River rose nearly 29 feet within hours.
President Trump signed a new tax cut and spending bill into law Friday, prompting concern from former advisor Elon Musk over its impact on the federal budget.
Musk criticized the bill's projected increase in national debt and has announced plans to form a new political entity called the America Party.
A powerful storm in northern Italy struck near Milan, where a falling tree killed one person and knocked out power to thousands, local firefighters reported.
Authorities have closed several roads as crews work to clear debris.
The social media platform X has suspended Reuters' official account in India following what it described as a legal demand, though the Indian government denies requesting it.
Users in India currently cannot access Reuters on X.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host or guest and should not be interpreted as statement of fact.
Oh, we're going to have tech troubles today, all around with everything.
We got a cup of coffee in here, please.
Tech Trouble Show. Welcome to Tech Trouble is us, are us. You is you, are you is us. Tech Problem. The StreamYard platform from hell. I don't know what people is.
Damn, it's hot and hot.
Yeah.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
I don't know what that is. Look at this. I'm in the corner, like a little corner bit.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
I don't know what that's all about.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with a Dog. You make me laugh.
I don't know. Trying to pick Rumble. Rumbledy, boom, bombing. Where are you, Rumble? Get out. Get out. You're removed. Maybe we'll get back to Rumble later. Fuck that Rumble right-wing nonsense. Idiot. Echo chamber. I'm in a good mood. You tell I'm in a good mood. I don't even know what my background is here. Good morning, folks. We're trying to recover from... Oh, that's probably got a bit of boom, right? I had to shut it off. Hey? Technical troubles already. StreamYard... I'm blaming it on StreamYard. It's us. Of course, it's us. It's all me. I suck. The show sucks. The technical staff sucks. Everything sucks here. But good morning. It's Monday. It's still July, right? It's July 7th, 2025. Hope you had a wonderful 4th of July weekend. You know, sometimes when your back hurts, they say you have a bad back. I have a bad body. Everything hurts. Everything hurts. And it's not just because I'm old. I think it's time for a new bed, new floor, something. New body. How about that? New body. You heard about the stuff in Texas. Terrible stuff down there now. Blame going around and all that kind of stuff. But you know what? I think we can wait till after all the bodies are found to start the blame game. We're just very quick to just start politicizing stuff. And listen, it's political blame to go around. There definitely is. But if you're looking for your child who got washed away in a flood and you're hearing assholes on television and radio and social media saying, well, it's his fault, it's his fault, it's his fault. It's Joe Biden's fault. I don't know if you knew this. It's all Joe Biden's fault somehow. I guess the prostate cancer, he finally let it all go. Whatever. Let the people find their families. And then they should just cut off the microphones for people who are just looking to blame Blame everybody and wait until all the bodies are found. Is that too much to ask? Listen, the water's going to go down and they're going to find bodies. And then you're free to go blaming away. It's still going to hurt those people, but I mean, come on, give it can you take a breath? So anyway, also, I don't know if you heard that. I don't know if you know this about the Epstein client list, but it doesn't exist. And also, everybody who was saying he got murdered by Hillary Clinton are now saying no, he just offed himself. He just committed suicide, like we said all along. They didn't say that all along. You know what? Just 2 months ago, they were doing this. They were saying, yeah, we're dancing with the client list. What? The client list? I thought you just, the client list. Does it exist or not? Of course it exists. We know the little black book exists. He's got clients or had clients. And you know why we're not knowing about it and why they're not releasing it? Because there's a lot of uncertainty in that world. A lot of made up stuff in that world. Yeah. And there's also Donald Trump fucking little girls in that world. Well, I'm hitting the microphone. I'm getting excited. World. Weird world. It's exhausting, man. It's exhausting. How are you not exhausted by all the lies and bullshit and coming from MAGA world? How? Anyway, StreamYard fucked this up. I asked them to fix the loop button, and instead of fixing the loop button, they decided to change shit around. They're dealing with all sorts of back-end issues that are affecting streams because of browsers people are using. If you're on Chrome or Firefox, you still might have issues today. I don't know what to tell you to do about that. But in the meantime, we're going to be coming to you in glorious black and white monochrome. Not me. I don't got color. Look, I got color. It's just why did I get up? It's Monday. I shouldn't complain. I have a very good life. I was outside on 4th of July. I played I played 4 gigs on 4th of July, but Massapequa, I've never been to Massapequa. I've been to Massapequa. I've never been to this facility in Massapequa. It's just called Massapequa. That's the name of it, Massapequa. 250 people outdoors. And they wanted to put me under a gazebo in the shade while all these people were cooking in the hot sun. Me, I was like, no, I'm a man of the people. I'm going to get out in the hot sun with them. And then I melted. I was melting. I think I drank 5 bottles of water and 3 orange crushes or Fantas or something. And was still just dying out now, trying to sing. And this was my 4th gig of the day. So I had already sang for 4.5 hours, really, altogether. And it basically was just like, water. But it was fun, and you know what? I complained, but this is my life. This is what I asked for. I should be happy about this. And then Sunday morning, was it Saturday morning? I don't know. Saturday morning, I got check this out. Bet you never heard this phrase before. Emergency paint party. What? I used to be in the hair and beauty industry, and every time I would hear about a hair and beauty emergency, I'd be like, and that's what I got like with the call for a emergency paint party. This is not an emergency. Hello, I'm Jordan Peterson. This is not an emergency. Brain surgery, emergency brain surgery, heart surgery, cardiac, or something. That's an emergency. Your house is on fire. You got a flood, and your kids are washing away. That's an emergency. Paint parties are not. Don't ever use the word emergency associated with paint parties or hair or makeup. Jesus. Our priorities are all wrong. They're just wrong. Anyway, I don't know if any of this stuff I'm going to try to attempt to play here is going to work. Looks like our guest is here. I wasn't expecting him until hour 2, but that's fine. He's more than welcome to join us. Trevor Klumpner. I almost said Clampner, didn't I? Because I'm fucked up like StreamYard. Anyway, I don't know if any of these buttons are going to work, but we'll try. And when we come back, we'll say hello to that fella, and then that other fella. A couple of fellas waiting for us in the background there, and they're without their virtual background, so they're not themselves today. You know, they need a Snickers. So, but we'll try to make them happy, and maybe the background issue will get fixed. I'll get an email during the program and say, "Yeah, it's cool. Turn it on." Oh, what's going on over there? See, the show's just starting over there again. What the fuck is going on?
Soft and pink. She comes without a head. But at least she'll never shit the bed. You need a fake rubber squeeze. Be like Stephen Ortiz. Load it up, it's so soft. Get you 10% off. He goes to Tantalene. He goes to Tantalene. He goes to Tantalene. He goes to Tantalene.
See that we go to black. Oh, because the video goes to black. That's fine. You know, we're like 6 minutes delayed over here. It's just the show just started, or more than 6 minutes, like 10 minutes delayed. It just started on my YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, in the room with me now are Stephen the I fuck up everything with my virtual backgrounds, Ortiz, and GD blind the blind Mike favorite comedian, GD Fenderson. Good morning.
Good morning, America. MindDogTV.com. Do you have fingers and fireworks left over from July 4th?
I got a finger left.
And nothing left to blow up? Well, go to MindDogTV.com/merch and buy stuff for 30% off just to blow up with those leftover fireworks. Use promo code 30ThankYou. Don't forget, blow up shit. If you don't have shit to blow up, you might as well blow up good shit. MindDogTV.com/merch.
I think you don't blow up shit. You leave it on the doorstep, right? That's Steven's the big thing. You put it on the
you leave the door. You leave it on the doorstep. You light it on fire, and
you roll away.
You roll away. Yeah.
No.
And plus, why would you want to blow shit? Like that's gross.
I said blow up.
Blow up. He did say blow up.
It's up,
but still. Right. Okay. So don't the door, the Ring cameras, don't they catch you can't do that anymore. It's like you can't ever
I wear a 4 million lumen headlight on my forehead, so it just blinds the camera.
But it makes him easy to spot down the street as he rolls away.
I don't even know what to
plan
say
is perfect. Okay, it's still a work in progress.
I don't even know what. Well, you're a talentless hack. That's why.
Oh well, okay.
Talentless hack. That's what Mike called you. A talentless hack. Listen, I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm the guy who is in the back of church running the board for the Rev on Sunday morning. And when that program is done, coincidentally, Blind Mike is starting his program, and I've become a fan of Blind Mike, and I listen to it. Now, yesterday he didn't call us that. Last week he called you guys talentless hacks.
What
and
a
Ron.
weird way to say you're gay, Matt.
What, that I'm a fan of Blind Mike? I think his show is very, very good. I think he makes some really good observations that are very funny in a way that maybe the other people on his show don't catch or something. But I think he makes me laugh on a Sunday morning. But he did call you guys talentless hacks, and I want to take issue with that with him. I tried, have me on the show. Let me talk about this, because I think talent, first of all, is a super rare thing. It's like genius. It's an overused word, and true genius, true talent is like less than 0.9999999% of the world, and what passes, what people think is talent, is skill. And so, like Bill Burr, I don't think Bill Burr or Mark Norman or any of these guys who were really good in comedy, I don't think they were talented. I think they worked. They put in the work. The problem is you don't see the work and you just think, wow, they make it look so easy. They must be talented. No, they put in thousands of hours of real hard work, studied their craft, and dedicated themselves to it. So, so I think there was as much as I like Mike. I think he says he's not doing things mean-spirited. To use terms like talentless hack, there's definitely some intent towards meanness in that thing. So I would love to be able to say that to him, but maybe I just did if he listens to this. But
that's fine.
Yeah, I'm not doing this to make you guys feel like you need to be defensive about it or any of that
I'm
stuff.
not defensive about it. I'm just
saying it's fine. That that's basically Mike saying I don't mean to be mean spirited. That's fine. Means it didn't hurt me. It did. Come on, tell the truth. Tell the fucking truth. See, you got me yelling on a Monday morning.
I mean, we have enough of something for him to take notice and talk about it. Whether he thinks it's good or not, talk about me. That's cool.
I don't think he's ever seen you perform. He's seen GD perform.
That's the thing, because I don't. Yeah,
it
is what it is.
He said the reason my show isn't taking off, whatever that means, is because I surround myself with talentless hacks, which is he's still. It's first of all, there's a lot of reasons the show doesn't take off. It's not going to take off. It's never going to take off. Even if I surrounded myself with the stars, all the biggest stars in comedy, it wouldn't take off, because what it is an old man yelling at the clouds type of show. And unless you're an old man yelling at the clouds, you're like, so who needs one of these? I think all these guys who are in their like 30s and they think, I'm in the same boat as them. I'm not.
That was what I was saying about his analysis being somewhat inept. He's like comparing apples and oranges and trying to make everything a watermelon or something. He's got things mixed up. Yeah. It's like he's trying to use the same yardstick to measure things that aren't measured in yards or shouldn't be measured in yards.
Yeah, that's fair. I think
and that's what I was saying about, and that's when they think that's why I think that's why they called me a liar when I was trying to explain that.
No, here's what happened. You started to explain the situation with your wife defending you and getting angry that why you were even laughing at what Blind Mike and waking her up and all that stuff, but you never completed that thought. And he jumped right in and said, it took it as a compliment. Oh, you're saying I'm very funny. Thank you. And then you never finished that thought. And then he heard you say, they're all stupid. They don't get whatever you said. But he's like, well, he told me you liked me and thought I was funny. And his wife thought, well, but you never finished the thought that you were trying to make, that your wife gets angry when people attack you or say anything negative about you and all that stuff. You never finished that thought. So all he took away was you were laughing at his jokes, and that was.
But I did say that my wife gets angry. So he
didn't hear that. What I'm saying, you didn't finish the thought. You said that, but while you were saying that, he was saying, "Oh, thank you very much. You like my jokes. I can't be mean to you anymore because you're a nice guy and you're buttering me up." That's what he said, and then that thought just stopped right there, and you didn't continue on and say you didn't hear the part where I just said she was angry and not liking the fact that you were taking digs at me.
Okay, if they played it back, would he have heard that? If he played it back and listened to it, would he have heard it?
Yeah, but again, he probably he overpowered you with his. Oh, thank you. You're buttering me up. You like my jokes. So unless you're really paying attention, no, he probably wouldn't. And because all he heard was the fact that you were laughing at you were laughing so hard. You didn't say what you were laughing at too.
Right.
He just assumed, oh, I made you laugh and now you're buttering me up. So that was what he took away from it. And then he heard something negative. He said, oh, see, he's two-faced.
And that's what I mean by him. Not also, he doesn't pay attention to things. He jumps. He has a pre-established conclusion that he wants to get to, and he doesn't listen and pay attention sometimes.
Yeah.
We all do it. I mean, it's not, but I'm just saying, but when you're making that, when that's your business model, and part of that business model could help or hurt people, maybe be a little bit more careful with it. Now, me, like I said, I don't really care per se. I just want the record straight that some of the things he was critiquing me on were really, really inaccurate, because
I've become a fan of his show because I feel like I'm learning about people I should have known about and didn't know about. Like this guy Steel Toe. Yesterday he did a whole show on this guy Steel Toe. And I never heard of Steel Toe before. And apparently the guy's got a very big audience, and all he does is try to make money. Like he tells people, you got to pay. In the super chats that we don't even ever ask people for money for, they're asking people for money right from the top. And you not only we're setting a goal today of say $1,000. I want to make $1,000 today, so start putting money in your super chats. And he says, I want to be a few days in advance, so I don't have to worry about tomorrow or the next day. So he's basically not delivering a show, just coming on and asking for money. And like I don't. And Mike's point is, you got to plan a show, do a show for them before you start asking for money. I never plan a show, and this is part of my shortcomings. I don't, even with my band stuff, I've never planned a show. I know what I'm going to do. I have an idea in my head. Like today we have the guest coming on, and we'll talk about his comedy. And I know I want to talk about the news shit that's going on, the Epstein list and all that stuff. But I don't plan it out. I don't like have, first segment. Get up, I have my coffee and hit buttons, and whatever happens, happens. And so I don't feel right about asking people for money in super chats. I'm not looking for but Mike is asking for $600,000 yesterday because he's got a mortgage. Like, wow, you gotta get a lot of super chat $1.99s for or whatever the fucking super chats cost to make up for $600,000.
Hey, so since we started this off with talking about Blind Mike and hurt feelings and blah 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 blah, we should watch the Tantally ad again and then come back all like, woohoo! It's a new week and have fun.
Yeah, that's an observation that a talentless hack would make.
Oh well, it's a good thing that I'm not a talentless hack. I'm a skillful dickhead.
Well. I don't know about dickhead. It's more like just a big fucking full moon or something. Oh, it's a full moon.
Thank God.
You know what's crazy is my blonde hair is more reflective than my bald head was.
Wild. Whatever.
Whack.
No,
Whack.
It's not more reflective. It just disperses the light slightly differently.
All right,
GD, you're supposed to be. He said we were going to be coming through all monochrome and stuff, and that's disrespectful because GD is always colored. So.
I'm not sure what's going on because we're like 15 minutes delayed there now. I don't know if they
fixed it over. Did you start that browser? Because mine is on time. Mine is like 30 seconds behind. Yeah.
Wow. I don't know.
But sometimes I will, if I just like restart it on that browser, it catches up, and then it's just as usual 30 seconds or something behind.
I don't think oh, wait, there's a little button here. Can I do that? I pull it all the way to the end and see what happens. No,
yeah, mine's also.
Now I got a black screen. Now I got a black screen. All right.
Do that one.
What?
All right, let's get to our guest because he showed up an hour early and he's apologizing for it like it's bad. It's not bad. It's fine. Well, it's all fine. Trevor Klumpner is a Midwest-based. Now that could be anywhere, right? Midwest-based. It could be Indiana, right? Or it could be Texas. Even Texas is Midwest, isn't it?
No, it's not. It's Southwest.
It's South, but it's mid, right? Isn't it in the middle of the country?
We've had
Middle
this
West.
discussion before. Let's not do a geography
It's not
lesson.
West. No, that's what I'm saying. Midwest could be anywhere. Midwest-based comedian who has shared a spotlight with comedy heavyweights such as Jordan Jensen, never heard of him. Casey Shamna, never heard of him. Jeff Akun, never heard of him. Preacher Lawson, never heard of him. You know these people, Steven?
A couple of them ring a bell, but I'd have to see faces.
What are you smoking down? And many others, aside from touring all over the Midwest, Trevor is a regular performer on Skyline Comedy Club in Appleton, Y. He's here now, and I got to find out buttons to push to let him in the room. Say hello. Good morning, Trevor.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Look at that beard. That beard is bigger than it is in the promo pic I got. You've been working on it.
Yeah, I've been lazy, is what I've been doing.
I was gonna say you went to the gym.
Yeah,
it's all swelled up.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, I'm going to the hair gym.
I'm sorry. Now somebody else from do you know Slaptail?
I think I have messaged them before about being on a show, and they still have not booked me. So let's get on that. Yeah.
I haven't been booked yet either, so don't. It's not an insult. He just waiting.
Don't poke the beaver.
Well, Beaver. Let me just read Beaver's comment here before we get on to things. He says, "Sorry, Matt. Why do you give a shit? Give a shit about what?
He's talking about Blind Mike.
We're talking about whether your show is planned.
Why do I give? I'm not. Well, give a shit. I mean, I'm not. I just think it's important to kind of be clear about my ideas about talent and what that is, because I think a lot of people. I'm not. This is not in response to Mike being me. I like Mike. That term bothers me, and no matter who uses it, and it's not. I don't take it personally. I think we are confused, and I think the part of the purpose of this program is to help young comedians find their way. And if they believe in this myth of talent, I think that they're doing themselves a disservice, because I think true in any art form, in any performing art especially, it's the work that makes you stand out, a work that makes you successful. It's not, I was born with some kind of gift. I was born funny. No, you weren't. You're born funny. You learned how to. I've been watching too many fucking Sore Hands. You know who Sore Hands is? You guys know
who's Sore Hands?
Sore Hands is a classical guitar player, and he basically rips apart everybody. But he's being a dick on purpose. But he talks about, because there's all these people who call themselves self-taught. No, you're not self-taught. Self-taught is an ego fucking thing you put out there to say, I have this gift or something. Oh, no, everybody learned from somebody. You're not self-taught. No matter what you do, you're not self-taught. You put in the work. You listen to other people. You listen to your influences. You've taken things from them. And now Trevor's going to tell us who he's learned from. He's self-taught comedian, Trevor Klumpner. Hello.
It's self-taught, yeah, definitely. Definitely had no help. Did it all myself. I agree with you for the most part about it's all about the grinding. That really helps with becoming a better comedian. But there is like 20% does come from actual just being naturally funny. I know guys in my scene who've been grinding for like 10 years and have gotten nowhere, still spinning their wheels. They're just not naturally funny.
Well, there's a weird dichotomy though. If you look at like the big names that talk about like the coming ups through comedy, and it's almost a 50-50 shot. Some of them say you can't teach funny, you can't learn funny. Like you can learn, how to set up a joke, how to write material, blah, 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 but you can't learn funny. But there's some that say you can't learn funny, but you can definitely sharpen your funny bone a little bit and kind of, learn to roll with it some and, get something from it. But there's a weird dichotomy. So, I mean, me personally, I don't have an opinion on it because I've heard both sides and both sides do make sense. So, I don't know.
Well, it doesn't. To me, it doesn't make sense because then you'd see fucking 1-year-olds fucking killing it in comedy.
I saw an 11-year-old kid. I've seen an 11-year-old get a golden ticket on Kill Tony.
That's not
that Kill Tony's the barometer. Like no. Literally, this last week, an 11-year-old child was on Kill Tony at the arena and got a golden ticket. Not that Kill Tony's the barometer. But I'm just saying, like
that it doesn't. You don't know what the kid got that material from, and I believe he said his mother wrote the fucking jokes for him.
Mm-hmm.
But his mom didn't do the delivery
backstage with Tony before the show.
The delivery is work. The delivery is learning how to do it. Nobody is like when you see again. I'm not saying talent doesn't exist, but it's so rare. When you see a 3-year-old break down Beethoven's Fifth without any fucking help, that's fucking talent. There's no denying like he's born. But it's very rare. In 99.9% of the cases, people who are successful got there by putting in the work. And so the idea that talent is the least important part of success. It really is. And if that's not true, we'd see a lot of people just making it who are total fucking lazy slobs, don't put in any work, and they'd be just super successful. Just
Bobby Lee. You ever meet a TikToker before, dog?
No, yes. I'm just kidding. Yeah.
They're living that life.
Yeah, well, TikTok.
You know what? I do have to interject there a little bit, because while I do agree that TikTokers are, in my opinion, real low on the entertainment totem pole, it takes a good amount of work and effort to put out content daily that is watchable.
That's not what I'm like. Their internet content, their internet presence is amazing, and I applaud them for that. I'm talking about when I have to open for them at a comedy club.
That I agree with 100%. No, yeah, when those fuckers come into a comedy club to headline with 20 minutes of Facebook jokes and bullshit, fuck those.
They somehow
there are definitely to that point. There's definitely people who get a head start they don't deserve, a big shot they don't deserve because of luck, because of being in the right place at the right time. TikTok happens to be the right place at the right time. You get followers, you got friends and all that stuff, but they can't sustain that. The club owners figure out pretty quickly, okay, the guy came in one time, he headlined, fucking nobody showed up, and all the openers were funnier than him. He's not coming back. Yeah, but so it all came back to I wasn't upset with Mike. I was upset with not the perception of talentless hack. I think talentless is one thing. I think more than 99% of the world is talentless, born without the talent. The hack part is not putting in the work. I don't think you can be both. If you're both, you're not going to be anywhere. You're not even nobody's going to know who you are. Anyway, I'll get off the fucking high horse.
Get off the cross. We need the wood. Anyways.
Yeah. So, Trevor, do you get beyond the scopes of Midwest? And I'm thinking you're talking Wisconsin here, right, or Minnesota?
Yeah, I gotta update that bio. I've been doing like national stuff lately. But I mostly perform in the Midwest. From Appleton, Wisconsin. Texas is not the Midwest, by the way. I do have to interject that.
Well, it's southwest. I get it. But,
Southwest, there you go.
But it's the middle of the country, right? So
yeah, it's like straight down from Wisconsin, pretty much. Same time.
Or anywhere. Anywhere, really. No matter where you are, Texas is straight down.
I think even here. Can't really use the time zone as a barometer, though, because Texas has like 9 time zones. It's so
well, at least Austin's the same time zone.
Yeah.
Today's letter of the day, by the way, is the letter B, as in barometer.
No,
barometer.
It's F, as in flood.
Oh, too soon.
Well, that's weather or not. So.
If their barometer was working, they would have known. They would watch the pressure.
Oh, now, am I a dick, Trevor? Because and you could say yes. That's fine. Just say yes.
Yes.
But the names that are in there that are comedy heavyweights, I feel like GD, who doesn't know, like he didn't know Bill Burr. I think.
Well, I knew the name. I don't know what he looks like.
But when we say that's, at least you knew the name. These names I don't know. These supposed comedy heavyweights.
I would have to see faces, but
I don't know. Jordan Jensen, probably the funniest comedian working right now.
No,
I know that. Like I said, I'm better with faces. Hold on, let me look it up here.
Look it up.
The name.
Can you share it?
Yeah, here, I'll look it up on.
Yeah.
Jordan Jensen, come on! It's not like it's
but she's like insane. Same with Preacher Lawson. He was on America's Got Talent. And do I have Jeff Curry in that thing?
Wait, hold on.
Wow.
Listen, yesterday, I was talking to someone, and they asked me who my favorite comedian was. I'm not going to go into that.
I know.
But I'm not going to answer that. But
I would like to
know this one.
But they asked me. But then he also asked me. I told them who I think is one of the best comedians out there, and I said Christopher Titus.
See, I would have thought that was your favorite. See, I blew it.
No, I'm my favorite. If I can't be my favorite, then why am I doing this? But I think he's much better.
So this
I'm
is
not
Jordan.
saying the best. Favorite and best aren't the same thing. I'm my favorite comedian. I tell the jokes I want to hear, the material I want to hear, that kind of stuff. And nobody does
Cool.
that
Tell
all
us
the
about your
time.
mom next.
How many times have you
Anyways,
paid
this
to
is
see
Jordan
yourself?
Jensen.
Hold on. How many times have you paid to see yourself?
In opportunity cost, millions of dollars
No,
every time.
How many times have you bought a ticket to see yourself?
Oh, John, I can't answer that intelligently.
Yeah, because
he bought at least four for the Gov show because he gave them away.
Oh, that's a low blow. All right, yeah, we see what Jordan looks like. You can take her down now.
So this is Jordan Jensen. I do know. I recognize the face. I watched her special.
I think I know her too. See, I was thinking
She's
Jordan was
fantastic.
a
I believe
guy.
she's also. Hasn't she been on Kill Tony also?
I don't know about that. But
I don't
yeah,
know.
she's great.
I know that.
Her podcast is amazing too.
So the reason I brought up all these people that you mentioned on your bio, are you part of? Because I think it's important. It's kind of. I'm stumbling to say this. I think it's important to be part of a clique, be part of a group in comedy, especially more so than any other art form. It's important to be a social person and get in with the right group of people. Do you have that around yourself, or are you a loner?
I think other people in the scene would kind of describe me as a loner. I was in the military, and ever since I was in there, I've always had this kind of attitude where you got to like kind of earn it with me, and kind of makes friendships a little more difficult.
Yeah.
So like when I'm, meeting new comics, I'm kind of I'm not mean or anything, but I'm just kind of, I keep my distance.
Yeah.
Are you more tolerant to other comics who have been in the military?
No, actually, I tend to not like them. If I'm being honest.
See, I feel that. I don't like other crippled comedians for the same reason. Is it because they want to other crippled comedians,
okay,
other guys in wheelchairs? What's your reasoning for not liking them?
I hope none of them are listening. I just don't find them funny.
One's listening right now. He's right there.
If I've worked with you.
Well, you haven't worked with him yet, but you did ask him to book you.
No, he's probably hilarious.
Yeah, he's very funny. And I have a bit. Or you know what? I should load that up while I'm thinking about it.
So is it like because all they want to do is just talk like military stuff the whole time? They're not on stage.
Yeah, and I learned pretty early on that doesn't really translate to a wider audience. Like I have probably at least 15 minutes on being in the military, but never really translated correctly to a wider audience. If I did like a VA show or something, great.
Now, out of curiosity, when you do your military stuff, are you doing it I hate asking this. Is your format more like storytelling or joke telling? Because I think storytelling in the military, works better than joke telling. But that's just my opinion.
I would agree with that. Because at least my writing style is I'm very joke. Like I don't ease up on the pressure. So it's not as, and that's the thing I notice about the other military comedians I've worked with is it's too long. Like they don't understand the economy of words, and there's all filler, no killer type of stuff. Like get to the joke has always been my attitude towards it, and that's kind of why I'm like, oh man, I don't really like working with them that much. Don't get me wrong, I've met some veteran comedians who are some of the funniest people.
Yeah.
There's a kid out of Chicago, Carter Doherty, hilarious. He was in the military. It's just overall the ones that I've worked with have not been the highest.
Kind of a saturated thing too. There's a lot of vets who are now comedians. I mean, more than I would have guessed is the number. But
you guys know the World Series of Comedy?
Yeah.
I feel like every single one of those guys is a veteran.
Yeah, I think you're right. Well, Ben Frank, I'm not sure Ben Frank is, but you know what? I'll check with him next time he's on the show.
I was gonna say I think I know a good number of people that are involved that are vets. Yeah.
Trevor, I have a question. You was talking about the economy of words, and especially when it comes to jokes, the fewer words the better. Now, I was talking to a comedian who, when they found that I was a storyteller, without having heard my material, they said their conclusion was, so you're not good with the economy of words, which
I don't
does
think
not
that's
necessarily
necessarily
mean that's
true.
true.
No.
And so I was just curious if that was your viewpoint. If someone's a storyteller, doesn't mean they don't know how to be economical with their words.
No. So my favorite comedian is Chris Gethard.
Oh yeah,
and he's
never heard of him.
heavy storyteller, and there's a way to do it that can be beautiful, funny. It's just about how you write and how everything comes together. I do not possess that skill to really tell a long story in a way that doesn't feel rambling to me. But that could just be a personal thing, honestly.
And that's what I was curious, is that because some people, like some children, you can, as soon as you start, and I'm saying because I used to teach children, I was a student teacher for a brief period of my time. And if you started off a sentence, by the fourth word, they're like, not even, the sentence could be 5 words long, but they shut down at the fourth word and they're like, oh my God, how long is this going to go on? It's like, it's only 5 words, but they don't have the patience because they heard a fourth word and they just shut down at that point.
I don't want to go
anyone
back
has
to,
patience.
I don't want to go back to the whole thing about talentless hack again. But I think one of the telltale signs that somebody hasn't put in enough time is they don't understand the economy of words, whether it's storytelling or joke telling. I think if you're a joke teller, being a storyteller does not mean that you don't understand the economy of words. You can be very good telling, but I think it's still important to be economical with your words when telling stories, because it's part of the art form.
Doesn't a lot of that come from, though, like getting a feel, like reading the room and understand, like getting a feel for who the audience is before you get up there? Because, for example, when I write my jokes, I don't write them word for word. I write my premise down, and then I tell the joke just based on the vibe and presence of the audience, right? So, for example, if I'm going up after somebody who's killed the vibe or stopped the momentum and everyone's attention spans are gone, my jokes are going to be snappier and to the point quicker, versus if I have a crowd that's involved and cooperating and they're having fun and they're laughing and they're on a roll, no pun intended, then I can get a little more in depth with my jokes, make them a little punchier, a little longer, have some more fun with it. So I think a lot of that may come from.
I think reading the room and understanding the economy of words are two separate skills. I don't think they're necessary.
No, but I think that maybe they play a little hand in hand, though.
I also think tempo plays a part of it, because if you have very few words, but your tempo is really, really upbeat and really fast, some of those words are going to go by because the people that weren't prepared for it and the joke is just gone. And so if you're upbeat and your tempo is really, really fast, you may need a little more words so that people can, it's like they can keep up with it. And then so I don't think it's an economy of words as much as I think it's just an appreciation of timing. But that's
all that's important too. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so that's why when people say economy of words, I stop listening after 4 words. I'm just teasing, because I think that they are not taking everything into consideration. Yeah, they're not taking everything into consideration. There's timing, there's pacing. I used to write for Politipod, and they used to get on me. They had a word count. They said they had a word count and a time maximum. They say, okay, your sketches cannot be longer than 4 minutes and 10 seconds, and they have to be under so many words. And I would write, and they'd go like, you have like 150 too many words. And I would say to them, I said, but the timing is under 4 minutes, 10 seconds. And we'd have this argument every single week. I said, but check out the pacing. And it's not too many words. Check out the pacing. And every week my material would work. And every week they said I had too many words, but they're not paying attention to the pacing. And this is something I worked with for like 3 years. And to this day, if I started working with him again, he would say, you have too many words. And I say, well, check out the fucking pacing.
Sorry, GD, you lost me a while ago. What did you say?
Yeah, no.
I was expecting that.
So, Trevor, I'm sorry. I've done you a dirty deed here. I did not find I didn't find a URL for a website or a Facebook page or anything like that to share. If you could put it in a private chat, I'll share it with people right now.
Yeah, let me pop that in there for you right now.
So it says here you were on Kill Tony, right? You were on Kill Tony?
I was.
How long ago?
Oh man, 2-3 years ago. They were still at the Vulcan.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know what that means.
So it's at the Comedy Mothership now. It's like its home, and while that was getting built, they did it every Monday or Tuesday or whatever at the Vulcan Gas Company in Austin.
Okay. When you talk about Kill Tony, you're gonna have to speak slowly because I don't follow them and I have no idea what's going on there.
That's fine. You don't have to. I feel like it's not the end all be all it used to be.
Well, that's kind of what I wanted to ask you about. From being on that show, did you get any bump? Oh, I don't know any other way to say that.
I definitely got recognized more. So when I was on, I want to say Kill Tony was not at its peak, but it was where it was still gaining a lot of it was very popular. It's gaining a lot of traction. So I was getting recognized. I did get some opportunities out of it. I was using it as a credit for a while. And then something changed maybe about like 6 months ago where people were saying stuff like you shouldn't use Kill Tony as a credit because it's not a real credit, because anyone can do a minute of comedy and get roasted for 15 minutes.
Well, that's my point about that is not so. If you can do it well, if you can go up there, listen. If you can do a minute of comedy well, I appreciate that. I think that you've earned something for that. The thing just getting on is a lottery ticket. You're getting pulled out of a bucket. So just getting on is not significant in itself. Doing well is a whole different story.
Yes.
If I was on Kill Tony and I did well, and even if I didn't get the golden ticket or whatever the fuck they give you to come back, if you can say you did well and have evidence to prove that, that's a whole different thing than saying I just got on there. Because William Montgomery gets on there.
Well, I think he's funny.
You do?
Oh yeah, I love the red machine, whatever they call them. I can't find my notebook. I got the big notebook, so I know I have proof that I did well.
Wow, good for you. Yeah. So you know what? I can't be unfair to William because I've never seen him on Kill Tony, but I've seen him on his own program. And on his, the William Montgomery show, because Brett Erickson was his Ed McMahon for that show, and I used to watch it for Brett. But I was like, "What the fuck do people see in William Montgomery?" All he was doing was just yelling at Brett the whole fucking time on his show. It's like, what?
That's kind of his shtick, though. Is he's just like that? He's an overly angry guy who gets up on stage and reads his one-liners off of his paper. And then he's just an asshole, but he's for some reason lovable. It doesn't quite make sense. Like anything that
the nicest guy you'll ever meet. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, and that's the thing. Everyone I've ever heard talk about him, like off stage, has said he's one of the nicest human beings they've ever met, and he's so caring. But like you see him on stage, and he's just calling you a bitch and a cunt the whole time. But for some reason, you just love him.
Who was the guy you almost got in a fight with? I remember watching this YouTube thing. It might have been even on Rogan, but some famous comedian was on the panel. It was the first time on the panel, and William Montgomery got into it with them, and they were the guy. It was like in my face, like I'm ready to punch this fucking guy now, and he doesn't know his limits. I forget who it was now because I'm old and I have dementia, so that happens.
Was it? Let's see.
Oh, don't worry, don't bother.
Man, I looked it up, and apparently there's a whole compilation of him getting into it with guests.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Not guests, panel people on, yeah.
People. Well, that a Kill Tony guest is somebody on the panel. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So now, with club owners, did you get work out of it?
I definitely didn't get work from clubs. I got work from just like local producers, stuff like that. Club stuff. I mean, God, clubs are so hard to get into. It's all vouchers.
Yeah, this is because we had a guest on last week who asked me if I could introduce him to the booker at Governor's Comedy Club. We're on Governor's Network now, and I basically said yes, but I knew in the back of my mind, no. She doesn't. She doesn't answer me. She basically, I can try, and I did try. I made the contact, but basically it went into outer space, and she doesn't get back. A lot of comedy club bookers are fucking. If they don't know you and don't really have a relationship with you already, they're not even going to give you the time of day. They won't even read your emails most of the time. So it's really difficult. This comes
You
back
can
to
even go and do a guest spot at their club and crush, and they still won't book you because who knows why.
Yeah. You know about
I've had that experience, yeah.
Louis C.K. at the Comedy Store. After he was already fucking huge, he was already like Louis C.K. He couldn't get past at the Comedy Store. Mitzi said, I don't think he's that funny. Wow,
See,
really?
Well, comedy is subjective. Comedy is subjective.
Yes,
that's just it.
That's what I was going to say. I take issue when people say I don't find them funny. I work for Don't Tell Comedy, and so I book a lot of shows, and there's a lot of people I honestly don't find funny. But if I see them at a show and they're killing, then I don't care. They're obviously funny to a broader audience than myself. What I care about doesn't matter. I'm not the authority on art,
Yeah.
And some people that when you see them live, as opposed to seeing, you can see them live and see them do the same thing on video. And even the people on the video, if they're laughing, you may come off as like, I don't feel it. But when you're actually in their presence, they have a different effect.
Energy, yeah.
Yeah. I have that with a lot of comedians where they have big followings. I know people find them very funny. Shane Gillis, listen, I'll probably take some heat for saying this. I don't find Shane, he's not for me.
Okay,
but I know he's very good, and I see what he does, and a lot of people love him, and he's one of the most popular comedians in America right now. So I'm not gonna say he's
one of
not
my favorites.
I would say between him and Nate, they are the most popular comedians in America right now.
Do you put them in the same boat? Because I find Nate hysterical.
I don't put him in this like if I were to go family, clean, famous comedian, like we're talking. I mean, I don't want to use Bill Cosby as an example, but I'm going to. He's in that boat, like you can bring him to your kids, you can bring him to grandma, they're gonna love him. I just read his book. I love Nate.
Yeah, as long as they stay awake, yeah.
If
they fall asleep,
Shane is
all
the
bets
shadow.
are off. Yeah,
he's like the evil shadow of Nate. He's the dirty thing that everyone knows.
Nate's really. Nate's really a dirty fuck is off stage.
Oh yeah. Dan Soder talks all the time about how they used to party together and how he's crazy and you wouldn't know it.
Yeah, Jeselnik told a story about being in an elevator with Nate and Shaq, and Nate got Shaq in the corner. He said, "If you let me blow you, I'll pull your pubes out of my teeth." What? What? Nate Bargatze said that to Shaq? Wait,
that's awesome.
So yeah, it's
the
just
thing is, and that's because I blew Shaq and he's shaving down there. There's no pubes to pull out your teeth, so it's.
I would never even. I would be fucking intimidated to say hello to Shaq. I'd be just like, he's not looking at me. He's gonna kill me.
No, he wouldn't.
Why is it? Because that's terribly racist, Matt.
Yeah, my nephew is in the same fraternity as like a lot of these NBA athletes, and so he's got all these pictures with Shaquille O'Neal and other members of the fraternity, and they're all like hugging each other because if you're in the fraternity, once you're the brothers, it's.
No, Steven just showed what a fucking racist pig he is because he assumed it was because Shaq is black.
Because he's fucking massive.
I know.
You'd be cock level to the guy,
huh?
You'd be cock level to the guy. I understand why you'd be scared.
Yeah. Anybody who's 7'9" or whatever the fuck he is would intimidate me. I don't like looking up.
I don't know.
I think he's 7'3", but I'm not certain.
Enough.
You break 6'5", I'm scared of you.
Yeah, see, here's the thing. I sit at like 4'11" in my wheelchair, so anybody taller than like 5'8" is massive. So at that point, you just look tall to me. I think it starts losing its magic at about like 6 foot, probably.
Yeah, I'm sure there's diminishing returns on height.
Yeah, because I mean, I've been around basketball players. I've been at the University of Notre Dame around the basketball players, and some of those guys were 6'8", 6'9", 7 foot. It didn't look much different to me than that.
The worst feeling is if you're that tall and you're not athletic, but everybody assumes you are because you're that tall.
You play basketball?
Right, exactly. And then it's
I've never been confused as athletic.
Yeah. Now coming back to where I started while all this is trying to understand the loner versus being in a clique, because comedy is very different. If you're an actor, pretty much you're a job. You understand your job is to get a agent manager as quickly as possible to handle all that booking stuff, because it's a fucking pain in the dick. And if you're a musician, the same thing. You basically either get very good at booking yourself, but you don't need other bands to help you get booked. You don't have to get in a clique of bands. You get those relationships with club owners. In comedy, it's a very weird thing where you have to be in a clique so that producers, people who are on shows, can say, "Oh, you need another spot. I know a guy." And a lot of your bookings come from referrals, word of mouth, friendships, and all that stuff. But the dichotomy of that is that when you're writing, it's a very solitary thing. You have to be a loner to write the material. So you gotta fucking get psycho. If you're not psycho to begin with, you have to divide your psyche into the loner and the social aspect, and that makes it very difficult. So the question I'm building here: did you have you pursued agent managers and all that? Because they were just as hard to get through as club bookers. But I think it's important. It's really important.
Yeah, I'm with two. I wouldn't call them talent agencies, but like two like booking agent. Like they have a bunch of rooms that they run that I get into through them. But otherwise, not really. So here's this is where it gets kind of. So before I was a comedian, I was a musician, touring musician. I love my.
That's where you got my hat, because I know you stole my hat from one of those gigs. You were backstage. I saw you.
Oh, yeah. I used to tour. I love my band. I'm still very good friends with all the guys I was in that band with. But that taught me how to like do bookings and like how to produce and how to get shows going. Like if you're not getting booked, then do it yourself. I've always believed in that. And then when I started, like, I have friends in comedy. Like there's a bunch of guys in the scene that I'm really tight with, a bunch of women I'm very tight with. But what really is helpful is my girlfriend is also a comedian. So she's someone that I can bounce ideas off of. She bounces ideas off of me. She's the reason I got on Kill Tony. It just, all you really need in comedy, I feel like, is one person to like champion you, and you will be fine. You will go very far.
Wow. All right then. One person. I
think that person has to be yourself then. Because if it's only one.
Well, okay, so that's kind of where I'm at the moment.
So my
it would help
if
that one person was I don't know, Stephen Colbert. That would be that would be good. That's what happened with Taylor, right? Taylor.
Yeah. my girlfriend is the social one. You know, she's the one who can get all the leads, all the connections with people. I'm not very good at that.
Yeah.
So I mean, as a team, we work very well together. And like I bring her, she opens for me all the time.
Yeah. Do you do a lot of, you mentioned TikTok, do you do a lot of reels and all that kind of stuff, internet shorts?
Yeah, I do and I don't. I burn out on it sometimes, but I try to at least post something once a week, a stand-up clip usually. And then I've been playing around with, like, I just bought a very nice camera finally, and I've been playing around with like doing kind of sketches, I guess. But we'll see if that goes anywhere, because I don't think it will.
Well, here's the thing. Last night, I finally got around to watching Joe List, Small Ball. You're familiar with
I love Joe List.
Yeah. Very good. He's one of my favorite comedians, but I don't know why it took me so long to get to his special. But he's doing a special, and from the first 10 minutes, I knew every word of the material from shorts. Now, a lot of comedians would say, that's why I don't do them. I don't want to burn my material. Even though I knew this stuff, though, in the special, they were even funnier than when I saw them on the short reel. So I appreciate them. It's like almost like I know this. 10 minutes in, I'm like, I know this entire special. I've seen it in 1 minute increments, but it was still very good. I think the paranoia about burning stuff is kind of misplaced, because at least for me last night, he proved me wrong on that. I still enjoyed all the stuff that I knew from the reel.
Matt, what you just touched upon is the fact that having something in context and out of context makes a big difference. You know, just a clip is one thing, but then you get to see it surrounded by other material, and it gets, you know, new perspectives in some regards.
Especially if it's a callback or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also polishing it.
Yeah.
I like because I have like a bunch of TikToks that are nothing but callbacks, so people don't understand the comp because they didn't get the original joke. They're just hearing the callback. You know, they're like, I don't get
It's
it.
like just coming out with nothing but punchlines and no setups.
That's right. Nothing but it's all callbacks. It's like matter of fact, I called it an all callback special. That's gonna be my 7th 90-minute special.
Oh my God. I'm not going to have to go and have to watch 13 fucking hours of your bullshit to watch your finale. You're not the MCU. Okay.
Here's a reel I'm going to put out. Here's a reel I'm going to put out today. I said ping pong balls, not King Kong's balls.
Right.
Oh, I remember that joke from when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Hey, when I heard that joke, I was probably like 16. I was at a house party. Some guy told me it. I honestly have never laughed at anything harder than that joke. For whatever reason, it caught me so off guard.
Well, now I don't know if you know this, but I actually am the original writer of that joke.
I was going to say, you're old enough.
I don't know what that joke is. I don't know what the setup is for that. So I bet Jackie Martling would know, but
yeah,
the joke
I'm sure he would.
But I don't know.
I got to get in touch with Jackie because he's overdue. He said every 2 weeks. It's been like a month now since he.
Did he do the job? Did you do the gig in Michigan already?
No,
that's not September 5th. That's September 6th or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, duh. Are you coming out?
Coming out.
That's going to depend on the Beeve. If
Coming
the
out.
Beeve has me booked by then, I'll go up there. But otherwise, no.
Because I'm going.
You're talking about the slap tail guy?
Yeah.
The slap tail guy, the slapping tail guy. You can see, you know about beavers. I did not know beavers slap their tails.
Well, beavers do slap their tails.
I know that now.
But that's why I don't. That's why I don't poke the beeve, because he slaps back.
All right. Another thing about Joe, listen, this goes back to what I was talking about earlier. The special is the first time I've ever seen this done. It's 2 nights at Zany's, one in Chicago and one in St. Louis. And they start out in sync. And basically he's going back and forth seamlessly, the same material. Like he's got this, Stephen was talking, I don't write my stuff out word for word and all this stuff. It's clear that he does, because you couldn't tell, other than the backgrounds, the curtain, you couldn't tell which room you were looking at and which night. It was that seamless, like you would go from one to the other. And to me, that is probably why he's very good. It's like his show is the same, whether he's in New York, he's in Chicago, St. Louis. It's the same show and the same tested material, same rhythm on everything, same punchlines. Fucking flawless. It was really, really good. Small Ball by Joe List. I'm putting that out there. Are you thinking in terms of specials and kind of half hours, whatever?
I just had there's a guy in our scene that I really look up to. He just put out a special, or he's about to. He recorded it, and I thought it was maybe a little too early for him to do that. So I don't know. Maybe like I have the time for it, but I don't know if it's good enough. So I was thinking maybe in like
why would you
3
think
more
he's
years?
selfish? I mean, I don't know his motive, because some people do things for different reasons. Why do you think
his reasoning? I understood. He was more like, I'm feeling kind of stuck, and I feel like there's no reason for me to write as much as I used to. So if I burn this material, I now am forced to write again.
Cortez. It's the Cortez principle.
Yeah. And so I was like, okay, I mean, that makes sense.
He says,
I don't know if he's got that. Yeah, it's the Cortez. Didn't he like burn the ships or whatever?
Oh yeah! Wow, he did know exactly what I was talking about. Wow, I thought I was the only one stupid enough to hold on to that useless information.
No, I know so much useless information.
Well, that helps. But yeah, I think there is a good point to be made that you won't move on as long as you hold on to this. At some point, you have to call an album finished. You have to call it an hour finished. This is that. And now it's time to put it out there and start to work on another one. The trick is to know when it's ready, when it's polished. And it's really hard to find outside sources you can trust. So at the end of the day, you have to trust your own judgment and your own intuition on that.
If I were to do one, it would be a 30-minute one, because of the material I have. There's about 30 minutes that I'm not having as much fun with as I used to.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, maybe it's time for this to go.
Are you dirty? Do you haven't I don't think I've heard you say one curse word here yet.
I'm not. I don't curse a lot. I don't know. What do you consider dirty? It's such the barometer for it is so different depending on who you're talking to.
The problem, I don't know, because like I'm not considered a clean comic, but I wouldn't feel uncomfortable saying.
You sound like you're a stone comic right now. Clean comic.
Oh, dude, I'm as high as giraffe tits right now, but regardless,
giraffe tits are not that high. It's the neck that's high. The tits are down here, so the calves can reach it.
Yeah, you know,
okay, but the calves are still 6 foot fucking tall, dude. Even if I wasn't in the wheelchair, I'm 5'5", still tall to me.
To that point, though, what's considered dirty? I get that, because Frank Zappa for his whole career was sort of a dirty. He never cursed once. He never once used a 4-letter word in any of his songs, but he was thought of as too dirty to play on the radio, because his material was about things that were sexual in nature, or whatever we consider dirty. So, and I think there's a certain gift to be able to talk about things that we think are dirty and not be profane, and still, but you wouldn't do it for kids. That's the whole point. I mean, so you could call yourself a clean comic if you're doing jokes about if you're not using profanity, but if your jokes without profanity are about incest or fucking ass eating. Even though
I could not do a kids. I don't think I could do a kids show if they're like under 13. Actually, I couldn't do a kids show anyway, and I don't write like that. I mean, I could actually write material about SpongeBob and stuff like that. But in order to make it interesting to me, SpongeBob is going to be doing things to Patrick that Squidward would be ashamed of.
I don't know if you know this about SpongeBob, but all his fans are 45 now. So they're not 13; they're 45.
SpongeBob's also a swinger. He lives in a pineapple.
Yeah, that's right. So basically, you draw on your military career. Where does your stuff come from?
Like I said, I don't really talk. Like my girlfriend described me as she called me Midwest silly the other day.
Is that a compliment or what?
I love that. My favorite guys are Midwest. I would go with David Letterman as fucking Midwest silly. I love Letterman. I mean, he's.
And do you have any kids, Trevor?
Well, I do and I don't. Like my girlfriend has 2 kids that are essentially mine, but I don't have any biological children.
If they said to you, Trevor, whatever they call you, Daddy Clump, whatever they call you, I want to be a comedian when I grow up. Would you say go for it, or would you say like I've seen the business? You'd be better off being a psychologist or something.
The best piece of advice I ever received was, if you can do anything else, do that instead.
Yeah, but what would you say to the kids? Is that what you would say to the kids?
If you can do anything else, please do that instead. You are very good at math. Maybe you should be an accountant. It's not. It's very. Every day I'm thinking about I'm like, should I quit? Should I not? Am I good at this? I'm constantly at war with myself.
Now, if your kids ask you, if your kids say like, Daddy Clump, what's the best thing about comedy? And then the other kid goes, Daddy Clump, what's the worst thing about comedy? What would you tell them?
Daddy Clump.
Yeah, that's what they call him.
I mean, I don't think I'm gonna workshop that with them, but it's fun.
Well, no, I totally feel kind of where you're coming from though, because in the last few months I've had to kind of reprioritize things, and so getting a real job has been priority, and then once I start working again, comedy is gonna have to slow down a little bit, because instead of being able to travel, it's gonna be focusing on, learning the new job and getting that going. That's going to be priority. And then, so I felt like, to fill in the gaps, I picked up bass. So that's going to be something. So there's, it's going to have to take a back seat. So the priority thing is just,
for a pity booking. What the hell is that? I think he's talking to Steven. Anyway, have you heard of Steven Ortiz before today?
Have I? No, I have not. Sorry, Steven. I wish I could have yes-anded that, but
hold on. Listen, to be fair, more often than not, there's a chance we've ran into each other on the interwebs. But if he hasn't heard of me, then we're probably not in the same groups.
Well, the reason I asked is because people are wondering who the fuck is Steven Ortiz.
I see what's coming now.
And, this might help clear that. I thought it would help clear it up. It's spinning wheel. See, StreamYard.
You wonder why I get stoned on here.
Why?
Why?
It's not happening. We're all frozen up.
I'm here at Only Alien Cannabis Company in Kalamazoo, Michigan. And here with me today is semi-professional stand-up comedian Nolan Johncock. Put that cock in your mouth. Nolan, how are you today?
I'm pretty good.
I want to switch hands here really quick.
Yeah, I saw that. It was pretty nice.
Yeah. Tell me, Nolan, with your comedy experience, this is 9 years for you, is that right?
Yeah.
9 years in comedy. Tell me, do you know who Steven the Sitcom Ortiz is?
The name sounds familiar, but not really.
What a surprise. He doesn't know who Steven the Sitcom Ortiz is.
If we met, I'm sorry.
Let me enlighten you. He's a fat potato-looking motherfucker who can't grow a mustache.
Whoa, that's nasty.
And smells
This guy
like
loves
a
you.
stinky rooster's ass. Cloaca, if you will.
How do you know what a rooster's ass smells like?
It's actually a cloaca. Back to what I was saying.
What were you... What?
And that's what I said.
All right.
What the fuck is going on?
I'm the beef man. For Coffee with a Dog on Mind Dog TV. Back to you, Matt and GD.
See, that was the beef man.
That
right
one backfired on him that time.
That guy's last name really is John Cock. That really is his last name.
That was a weird angle, like somebody was standing on a chair or something and shooting.
What's weird is it looked like Beef Man worked out every bit of his body, but his neck and head.
Yeah.
It looked like he stuck his head in a dryer.
Yeah.
That's great.
Well, at least that guy, your name sound familiar to him. But
It's because,
again,
you know
Steven
why?
Ortiz
It's because
is a pretty common
They were on a
name.
podcast together. That's why he should know your name. You were on the podcast, right? You were on their podcast, didn't you?
Not with him.
Oh.
No, but I'm pretty
The
sure
one
we're in some of the
episode you
same.
missed.
But I'm pretty sure we're in some of the same Facebook groups. So that's why my name sounded familiar. Like I said, if we were in the same groups, at least it would have sounded familiar, maybe. But
All right. How come I can't get rid of this now? It's going to be stuck there forever and ever.
that's what she said.
Yeah.
So I kind of wanted to go back to the thing we were talking about with being clean. So the club I came up with, you're always like when you're an open micer, you're striving to host, a weekend, and their rule was always PG-13. So I was just wrote that way. So the big thing that I always look at when people talk about clean stuff, I'm like, don't be crude. Like don't be sitting up there being like, jizz, stuff like that. Like don't be crude to be crude.
Oh, hold on. I got to erase my last minute.
Yeah. I swear on stage, but it's only, I'll never drop an F-bomb.
What if you just do 2 jizzes instead of the 3?
I mean, but then there's the other side of it where I'm like, if you could write it in a way, then who cares? Like anything can be funny. But like I swear in my act, but I only say shit like twice. Because again, there's no reason to be crude if you don't have to be. And also,
are you using it as a noun, a verb, or an adjective, or how?
It's just emphasis on a bit, And then someone once told me no sexual act outs. That's not considered clean.
Wow.
But you can talk about sexual things, but you just can't do an act out. And then someone told me that dark humor was not clean, and that's crazy to me.
That is crazy. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
So you can be very dark and not be dirty in the least. Like I don't want to. Erica Rhodes, who's a friend, who
I love Erica.
She starts her show basically like, I'm so happy because my father's here tonight. He died. And that's not dirty at all. It's kind of dark, but there's nothing dirty at all in that. And so you can kind of
I think a lot of people lump dirty humor and offensive humor kind of all into one thing, and it all just becomes dirty or
dark. Doesn't have to be offensive either. I mean, it could be.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't have to be, but I feel like people kind of clump it all together. I'm not trying to use that word because you're here, but it's yeah.
Oh, I don't care.
I think that's why he's using it, to be honest, Trev, because he has never used that word in the 3 years I've known him. Was it 4? 5, he's never used the word clump, ever.
Yeah, I finally know GD long enough for him to start exaggerating how long we've known each other. That's a compliment.
Okay. Do you set goals, timelines for where you want to, like, because this is somebody asked me to help mentor them in their career. It's like, you don't understand. I'm not going to give you comedy advice. I'm not. You go to a comedian if you want, and I wouldn't even do that because they're just going to tell you how to be like them. But business-wise, I think it is important to set mile markers and where you expect to be on a certain period. And, you know, if I work 2 years from now and I'm still doing open mics and nothing but that, maybe it's time to. So, do you set goals and markers for yourself?
Yeah, I have. This year I didn't. I want to see how that feels. But every single year before, I have set goals, and I've met most of them. I want to say follower count is the one that I cannot seem to hack into. But like I'm at as many, like I'll be like, I want to be passed at this many clubs by, you know, next year. And then, you know, I've succeeded at those. Monetarily, I'm where I want to be. Just, yeah, and it is important. I agree with you. Like, I feel like if I didn't have those goals, I wouldn't be trying as hard.
Right.
And this year I'm trying, I want to like take a step back because I feel like I've been so involved with comedy that I don't even have a life anymore that's outside of it. So this year I'm really focusing, like this entire month of July, besides I'm doing a Fringe Festival at the end of the month, I'm not doing any shows, not a single one.
The follower count is it's fucking death knell to creativity because what happens is you become a creative artist no matter what your medium is, whatever you're working with. You become that because that's what you want to do. You don't want to be a marketing person. You don't want to be a videographer. You don't want to be an editor. You don't want to be a photo guy, a guy who's constantly working on content to feed the masses that will end up following you over something that wasn't even your best work. But this is where we are right now, and I think it is killing a lot of the best work because people who, if you're a comedian or you're a musician, whatever, you're not concentrating on making your art as good as possible. You're concentrating on how can I get more followers? How do I produce 1 minute of content that will suck somebody in, and now they become a follower, and then I can get a chance to perform. It's the worst place we've ever been at for encouraging great work, encouraging genius, encouraging really talented work. We're not doing that, and that's why I think another reason it's becoming so rare is because we are working against it. We are literally telling people, don't worry about great content, worry about that 1 minute hit of dopamine that and then I can count you as another follower, and that's now I feel good about myself because I have more followers. It's terrible. Do you put any work into that, or because you said I can't figure it out, or is it
what do you consider work? Oh, so yeah, okay. So I don't know how you guys feel about this. Like, I feel Dog, awful. You said that you weren't a comedian, but you two are comedians, right?
Yeah,
I'm
JD
a humorist.
and Steven?
I am.
Okay,
I'm a humorist. I'm not a comedian.
They're both talented.
So I feel doesn't even my band that No Talent Asshole. I feel gross promoting myself. You guys feel like that at all? Like after a show, someone, like I'm always telling myself, like if someone comes up to you, you know, when you're waiting in the club, like in the like merch area, and they buy merch from you, be like, hey, please follow me on social media. Or if they're even just like, hey, I thought you were really funny, give them my thing, be like, hey, follow me on social media. But I feel weird about it every time because I'm like, if you like me, you will just follow me on social media.
Yeah,
like I shouldn't have to say anything.
I honestly agree with everything you're saying, and that's not how the world works.
Yeah,
I live in a world that's totally in my head. The world's a different place than what I experience. I feel the same way. It's like I have merchandise, and I feel weird selling it, but I had printed it up and made, but I still feel weird about it. When I have business cards, and I feel, and even when people ask me for it. I almost in my head. This is what I think. This is what goes on in the back of my head. If you and I were to meet, and you go, "No, great show," or if you said adequate show, or I had a good time, and you said let's exchange information, I would give you my card. In the back of my mind, I'm thinking, I hope it's worth it. You know, like,
Yeah.
Is he going to? I hope if he follows me, it's worth it. You know, is he going to look at my website and go, oh, it's really not worth it? Is he, you know, go to my YouTube channel and say it's really not worth it? That's what goes on in the back of my head. Even though I think I'm funny, you know, I'm confident when I'm confident. Even if I'm confident that I'm funny. But when I'm interacting with you, I'm like, I hope it's worth your time. I hope you're not wasting your time following me.
Well, with the merch stuff, I would never. I definitely get that. I would never sell my own merch. If I can't find somebody else to do it for me, it's not getting sold. I can't sell them. Whether it was the Rockin' 45's T-shirt, what I couldn't sell my own CDs. I just can't do it. It's got to be somebody else. I need to remove myself from that process. It feels like it feels dirty.
Selling merch to me is I'm fine with selling merch. I can sell merch all day. Because for whatever reason, like, call me a capitalist pig, but like, money talks.
Capitalist pig,
you know.
So no, I feel that like selling product is easy. Selling yourself is.
Well, if the product has my face on it and all that stuff, no, I can't think.
Oh, I don't know why people would buy my merch.
And that's why I can't. That exactly. I don't know why people would buy my merch. Is exactly why I can't sell it, because if I don't feel it, like I don't feel it has any value, I'm looking at why would you want this? Then I become the worst salesman in the world. And
now, the most merch I've ever sold, I did a show for free. I headlined a show and I didn't charge. It was a thank you show. It was because I was thanking people who had been supporting me for like 5 years, and I did it. Okay. I headlined the show, and I didn't charge anything, and I sold more merch. I guess they felt like, wow, he did all this to say thank you, and they started. I didn't even know. I wasn't even prepared. I had my stuff in the car. I didn't even have it inside the venue. I had to run out to the car when they said, "Do you have any shirts we could buy?" I had to run out. I said, "Yes, I do." And I had to run out and I had to hook up my little thing that's I forgot the
Square reader.
The square thing. You had to hook it up to my phone. Yeah, I had to get that. No, square reader. I did all that together because I wasn't prepared to sell anything. You know, they went, I'll buy. And I'm like, fuck. Sure, yeah.
The saddest thing I ever saw was at an Erica Road show at Brokerage, where the host of the show, after the show, the meet and greet, the host, Erica, and the feature were all backstage, and everybody was giving Erica all the attention. The feature was getting a little bit of, hey, you were really good. And there was the host in the corner with his one CD just standing there open. Somebody would come talk to him, and he wanted to sell. And I felt so bad for the guy that I gave him $20 for the CD. I've never.
That's how it goes, though. You know, like when you're the host, you're bottom rung. At the club that I'm based out of, hosts aren't even allowed to sell merch.
Wow.
That's only for features and headliners.
Yeah.
If the headliner's cool, you can do it, but you know, sometimes they're not.
Yeah.
I was at a club. I was at a club where I hosted, and I got all the attention afterwards, which felt weird to me. That the headliner and the feature were really so average.
Wow.
I've definitely never gotten that, but I've witnessed. So I used to be the door guy at a club. Witnessed. It was like a TikTok headliner. And I witnessed pretty much everyone leaving the show going up to the feature, who was a real comic, very funny, and saying stuff like, "I thought you were better than the headliner." You know, and I'm just like, oh, they're right there. They're right there. Come on,
keep that down. Don't say that too loud. It's just not. It's not good for you for them because the person who has the possibility or the power to maybe put you on more shows is hearing that. They're not going to blame that person. They're going to blame you for that person being a dick and being really unethical in how they deliver a compliment to you.
So you're going to ask you to like tone it down.
I've been in that feature's shoes, and it never ends well for that feature.
Yeah. There was I watched a reel, more than just a reel, about Jeff Beck and John Paul Jones. Jeff Beck has held a lifelong grudge against John Paul Jones for being hired to play bass and arrange his biggest hit because he didn't want to do the song, and his manager made him do the song. And he did the song, and John Paul Jones was innocent in this. He just got hired to do the arrangement. but Beck would never fucking speak to him because he associated him with that. So people will blame you for all the fucking wrong reasons, all grudges and all that, and that's not a good thing. So if somebody said that, that's very nice of you. Could you?
And the worst thing is, even after these three headliners buried the hatchet with me, so to speak, I think they really wanted it in my back and my head, and not like a handshake.
Yeah.
Because they were like, I got to get you on the show. Yeah, I was a dick to you. I'm sorry. And then they still won't return the calls or texts or anything.
So with your girlfriend, do you do shows with her?
Oh yeah, anytime I have an opportunity to bring her, I do.
Okay. A lot of comedians have a road partner, like they're going out, and I'm seeing this more and more friends of mine. I'm on the road with so and so, and they're in the car. And do you have that guy? Like Steven had Scott Zank for a week. 2 weeks.
Yeah, I just a couple guys that are. I wouldn't say I'm with them all the time, but they've been really cool to me. They'll bring me along. Like Trey Crowder has been super cool to me. Brent Terhune's been very kind, helping me out where he can. Like I'm doing some theaters with Trey coming up here in November. I'm really stoked on.
You like theaters?
I've only done one so far. It's different.
Totally different, right?
But working with, but Trey is such a pro that like I know it's going to go great, and his fans are. I've never found anyone's fans be as great as his. If I'm being honest.
Wow, that's pretty a compliment there, and because that goes back not just the people that come to see him. That's a reflection of him being able to cultivate that kind of fans. Good for it. That's a great.
Well, it's because he's such a kind person. Like I don't want to go into specifics of how, but he really takes care of his openers. Monetarily and just like in a friendship way.
That is so rare because I know several people who are I would say they're definitely millionaires from comedy. They're headliners who can not only support themselves but support themselves in a very lavish lifestyle, at least upper middle class, if not wealthy. And their features are still and openers are still getting what they paid 30 years ago, and it's just like
the old 80s principle.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, if you're in the position where you're comfortable, it's got to help you to lay out just a little more bread, just to let those people know they're appreciated, and to make them available. Because if you're gonna pay somebody $125, they can't live on that. And so you can't depend on them being there for you when you need them, because they're going to end up being working in a bank or something because you didn't pay them enough.
God damn it! That's exactly what the fuck has happened to me. That shit sucks.
No, you're working in a bank because you're a talentless hack.
Oh, I mean that.
I know you're working in a. What did I miss? You're working in a bank. When did you start? You got
you in a bank.
I'm supposed to get a phone call in the next day or so about it. So we'll find out.
The phone call will come like this. Hello, the talentless hack there. Yeah, we don't hire talentless hacks.
That's my ringtone for Steven. I took that when you said talentless hack. I took that, and that's my ringtone for Steven now. So when he calls me, that's what my phone says.
All right.
Yeah, maybe when I figure out that I suck at comedy, I'll become a humorist like GD.
Ooh. There's nothing wrong with having a day job, Steven. I just want you to know that.
Absolutely. My mindset is this: I need because every time I start getting momentum, life takes a shit on me, and I wish I was being like real facetious when I say that, but no, like it like the last time I had momentum going, like everything was just gone. So I just need to build a more solid foundation to try to build a comedy career on. That's going to come from being financially stable, having, my own place. That's going to be having a reliable vehicle. That's going to be having the money to, when I get a call saying, hey, in 2 months, can you fly out or can you come out and do a show? I can fly out instead of drive out. I can stay the weekend instead of making it a night trip and staying the night in an airport.
I want to test you a little momentum theory. I want to take your wheelchair with you in it to the highest hill in Denver, Colorado, highest mountain in Denver, Colorado road, and just let you zoom down and see.
I would.
That's momentum, baby.
I would absolutely do that for the views.
No, you would fall over because it's too rocky. I've been to those places in Colorado.
That's fine. I got different wheels. We can put some different wheels on, some knobbier wheels. I would do that for the views.
Got the off-roaders.
I think it'd be fantastic. It'd be a lot of fun. I used to do it back in the day for nothing, just for shits and gigs.
How
so
fast do you think you can get going? How fast do you think you get to 70 miles an hour?
I've held on to a car and I've done 45 holding on to a car.
Wow.
Sketching. Nice.
Yeah. Well, I do that regularly when I go to the girlfriends and we go to the pool. It's a lot to put the wheelchair in the car. So
how does AI have a pool?
She lives in an apartment complex and they have a pool, and I hold on to the driver's door.
Matt, that's where the server is. That's where her server is.
It's not AI. She's not AI.
Yeah. And I'm not.
I regularly sketch. So yeah, I would love to do a hill bomb. I think that would be fucking awesome to do.
Yeah, and it would end. I'd have one less talentless hack on the program. So there you go.
I don't know, man. I'm really proficient at the tuck and roll when it comes to flying out of the wheelchair. I've done it a lot.
Matt, I am talentless enough for the both of us.
All right, that's
agreed.
Yeah, I'm pretty talentless myself, but I was never a hack though. I was never a hack. I worked hard for everything that I did, and but to Trevor's point, there is absolutely nothing wrong with taking a day job and being. But I do think, and this is a lesson I didn't get until my mid-20s or something. It's really important, at least it was for me, to take a day job that didn't feel like it was totally void of any creativity or artistic merit or anything like that. Like, so everything I did was in the arts somewhere related to the arts, whether it was working for television, radio, whatever. I just wanted to feel connected.
Well, that's
the hair and beauty industry. We were doing shows and stuff. So.
Well, that's what scares me, and I think that's part of the reason I picked up bass was because I want to be able to do something creative. Because I'm not going to have the same amount of time, which granted, I will have time to do comedy, but I won't be able to just up and disappear for a week like I was able to. So I want to be able to, so I still want to be creative and still use my brain and still create and potentially still be able to produce something that's entertaining at some point. So that's what I did.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing.
I had 2 day jobs. I had 2 day jobs while I was doing my period of doing comedy, and both of them were jobs where I deliberately wanted something that had nothing to do with comedy, because I want to be, if I'm being creative away from the stage, I'm getting that creativity out of my system. But if I'm not being creative away from the stage, it builds up and it builds up. And then I'm almost like, I've got to get back on the stage. I've got to get out there.
Exactly.
So it works differently with me. I need something to do that's not comedy related, not creative related, so that it pushes, it's like it wells up, like the guy from The Train. In the pit of your stomach, you take all of your hate, all of your love, all of your creativity, and you create it down there, way down the pit of your stomach. That kind of thing.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Yeah. I mean, I love my day job. It affords me to be able to do comedy full time.
Well, see, and that's the thing. Like at the moment, I very little responsibility, so I'll be able to pocket this money, save up a shit ton of money, have the financial freedom to start doing shit that I want to do, and be able to get a place to live and do the shit, do the cool shit, the good shit, and not just go from one fucking shitty show to another and hope that they give me enough to at least get back home.
Yeah, you don't want to be this guy,
See, I fucking kind of do. I wish I don't know.
Cautionary tale.
It is, yes. Yeah, it's one of those things where
but Matt loves him. Matt actually likes that guy a lot.
Here's the thing: if I wasn't in a wheelchair, I would absolutely.
Sam Talent, the author, is amazing, but the guy that he's writing about is you don't want to be that guy.
Well, I didn't know who he was writing about because I've never seen that book until just now.
Well, here's the thing: if my health wasn't as bad as it was, I would live in my car and just do comedy. Like that's something I would absolutely do.
Yeah,
I just can't physically. I can't physically do that. Like a lot of people can. So, if I could, I would. But got to live realistic. So.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you got a van. You could live in a van, couldn't you? Live in a van,
Yeah, but
how's he gonna lay
by the
out?
time you put the
Well,
ramp in there and the
the
bass,
problem with living in a van is because
but
it's not going to be, it's not big enough for a wheelchair to roll through. I would still have to crawl around, so it's still going to be bad on my knees, bad on my hips, bad on just getting sores and cutting yourself open.
but
And
think
shit
of all
like
the
that.
new material you'll have.
Yeah. When now I know you're not
worth it.
You're not a baby anymore, but when I was 23, I had a Renault Alliance. If you're familiar with that car, it's a very small car. I had a PA system, 7 guitars, and a recording deck, and everything. And I lived in that car, traveling around the country, basically sleeping with a steering wheel in my face, and like this. So you make it work if you want.
I mean, I've considered. I mean, I've even considered like as far as like within my price range of like getting like a U-Haul and then just building in the back of that like something to live in, which would be doable, and I could make it somewhat work. But I mean, it would still be. It would still just require a lot of crawling around and not having the accessibility I need.
I've gotten too soft in my old age. I wouldn't be able to do that. Now maybe with an RV,
Yeah. Well, I did say you have to be a kid to do that. You have to be young, and it definitely pays to be young when you realize that this is what you want to do with your life.
That's what I used to tell the kids. That's what I used to say to kids. I said, "This is the time for you to experiment. This is the time while you're under my roof and under my protection. This is the time for you to not get in trouble. Because but this is the time for you to grow and learn."
Trevor, when you were in the service, were you thinking about what you do when you get out of the service, and was comedy the main?
No, so like it's weird. Like I've been a fan of comedy since I was probably like 10. Like just watching stand-up specials on Comedy Central. My friends are really funny. I used to joke, riff with them all the time. But comedy never seemed like something that was achievable. So I was always just like, well, other people do that. I don't do that. Other people do that. I was more into music, stuff like that. But I loved comedy. And right before the pandemic, a friend of mine was like, he was telling a musician friend, and he's like, yeah, I started doing comedy. It's great. And I'm like, what do you mean you started doing comedy? And he said that he goes, oh, you just go to an open mic. And I was like, holy shit, you could just do that.
Dude, that's exactly the realization I had. Was like somebody was like, dude, you should go try comedy. I was like, what do you mean try comedy? I didn't. What do you mean try? He's like, just go to an open mic. Like, fucking, it's that easy.
Yeah. And then
the
never went back.
thing is now, okay, so Papa Clump, when you started playing, what instrument do you play? How long have you been playing?
I actually played the ukulele and the fiddle.
Okay.
Nice.
So when you first started playing ukulele, if someone walked up to you and go like, I want to be a ukulele player in a band. I mean, would you? That's like that wouldn't sound. Would that sound strange to you? As I'm just going to do comedy. Would it sound strange to you?
Yeah, I think a ukulele would be weird.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a lot of room for growth in the professional ukulele world.
Oh, I think the world has changed on that. Uke has become such a popular instrument in the last 15 years. I can't
Especially
believe
for buskers, man. Buskers love the ukulele because they'll go to these. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, man.
I can
fucking
tell you
love
that
shit.
personally. I fucking hate it. I have a uke, and I can't play any instrument that has, it's got the high sounding string on the top where the bass string is supposed to be. Who the fuck designed it that way? Like, God damn it, put the low string on the bottom.
It was probably for a left-handed person, and there being so few left-handed people, the guy goes like, there's a left-handed guy, he goes like, I've got an interest, he designed it for left-handed people.
No, it's not. No, that would make sense, except for it after you got that one high string, it's basically normal for right string. That it's in order of bass and going down. So the bottom 3 strings are in the right order. It's the top one that's the fucked up one. It's one string that's fucked up. It's not the entire thing.
So technically, I play.
Go ahead. You go.
You're fine. You're fine, GD.
Yeah, no, he's not. He's not fine.
No, I was just saying.
God damn it! All right, hold on, Trevor, go ahead.
Yeah, go guess.
I technically play something called a terrapage. It's a ukulele, but instead of 4 strings, it has 8 strings. So it kind
Show
of
off.
like, well, do you know like how like a mandolin sounds?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, where it's like the different octaves.
I love mine.
So it has more of a full sound. And I never played like cutesy, like I'm just a fun guy playing my ukulele. I played what's called folk punk. So, you know, very hard hitting, anti-government type of stuff. And so
Love
like, it was a little different.
Yeah, I love it.
There was a band called Scaparande. They've since broken up, but I used to love them. I was actually a fan of theirs for a while. I'm not a fan of many bands, but because they had a ukulele player. You know, guitar, bass, ukulele, and drums. And the ukulele player was also one of their lead singers.
I sang too.
Yeah, very good band. I really enjoyed them. I actually became like a follower of them. I got their CD, and before they broke up. When they broke up, I was actually sad that they broke up.
What's a CD?
It's a way to invest your money.
It's actually a device for doing coke off of, in my opinion. But
that's absolutely true.
That makes sense.
I think I snorted all of Columbia off of a CD.
No, see, my generation does coke off of phone screens. We don't use CDs.
Oh, whoa, that would totally work.
It does totally work.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to you, Trevor.
Now it seems, because you just let out the cat out of the bag, that you started this right before the pandemic. It would seem that your success meter is far advanced to a lot of people who've been in the same period of time, because you're talking about like 5 or 6 years, 6 years, maybe 7 years. You're on the road,
man. It's like 4 years now this month.
Good for you. Oh, I thought, wow, is that? It's 5 years. It was 2020. No, whatever.
Well, so I did some like open mics, but I don't count them. It's not like I was doing anything cool, you know.
Right.
That's why. Yeah, that's why the caveat when I tell people I've been doing comedy for 7 years, but I've been doing real comedy for like 3 years, because those first 4 years, 5 years were just open mics and bullshit.
So basically, I've been playing music for 3 months because the first 65 years just blew.
Yeah, you suck.
Well, but I did 2 open mics before the pandemic and then stopped, so I don't really count those, you know.
Yeah, that's fine. But it's still, I was giving you a little bit of a compliment there. Your success track is far advanced to most people who've been in it 10 years and still aren't doing road work and still aren't really, because I think it's really easy, coming back to the idea of work. It's really easy to get caught up in wrong practice. In wrong practice, I mean, practice that doesn't help you grow. And open mic night after open mic night can be addictive, and you feel like you're progressing in your career, you're getting better at it, but you're not writing new material. You have to kind of regiment your practice and your time, and so that you're using it to actually move forward rather than get stagnant. I think a lot of people fall into that stagnant mode. So it doesn't seem like you could have possibly done that if you're in it 4 years. 5 years at tops, and have gotten to the point where you're at now. That's you're way ahead of the game.
Constantly hustling. That's what you got to do. The thing I tell people is work at a comedy club. It literally changed everything for me. I learned so much.
It used to be mandatory. Like, people could do them open mic nights, but you had to work. Like Joey Gaynor worked the door at the Comedy Store for 3 years before Richard Pryor took him on the road as his opening act. I mean, it was kind of. And Nate talks about having to be a barker on the street in New York City, go out and yell at people, "Hey, comedy club here, come on in!" That kind of stuff. It used to be mandatory. I don't know when it stopped. I think when they started paying comedians.
I can't access any of the employee areas at my club, so I couldn't work there.
You got a lot of excuses for a guy.
No, I tried. I applied.
You could work at our club. We have an elevator.
Shit. See, there you go.
And you go in and stand up for yourself. I'm sorry, stand up for yourself.
Our stage does not have a wheelchair ramp, though, so I've watched people in wheelchairs have to get carried onto the stage.
Oh, I bring my own ramp. That's not a problem.
Okay, nice.
And he refuses to get carried up on stage because we offered him that. He'd rather sit next to the stage at a table.
No, he thought that, Matt, he told me, he says, "Look, I am not light. you and Matt will break your backs trying to get me up on the stage.
It was, yeah, it had nothing to do with my comfort level. If there would have been like 4 or 5 strapping young dudes ready to lift me on stage, I would have said, fuck yeah, let's go. But there wasn't. There was a dude missing a leg, you, GD, and Ron. The only one I would have trusted was Ron with 4 other guys. There's no way that was happening.
Wait a minute. You wouldn't trust me? You wouldn't trust me to lift a fat bastard in a chair? I've lifted plenty of fat bastards in a chair.
Not me. See, here's the thing. Here's the thing. My lower half isn't like shriveled and atrophied and like light. Like I'm literally like a full-size regular dude that is like half dead weight. So it's just I'm heavy. Like I'm just a heavy person.
I used to take 450-pound corpses and throw them on tables.
Okay, but I also don't want to be tossed around like a corpse.
Yeah, but the corpse doesn't have to land safely. Steven has to land safely.
Yeah, the corpse doesn't have to land and then do 15 minutes. He has to just lay there and be dead. Like it's different.
A lot of corpses can do 15 minutes. I've seen it.
To Trevor's joke there, I mean, a guy who had known me for 20 years in the band had found out that I used to do autopsies. He said, I saw that you used to do autopsies. I was like, yeah. He said, was that your job? I'm like, you know, nobody does it. Nobody does it for fun anymore.
No, actually, weird way. Actually, that's how me and Matt met. We were at a hobbyist convention. He's a hobbyist. I thought
Steven was dead, and I started to cut him open.
You're gonna say he was so high you thought he was dead.
No, gynecology is a hobby of mine, and doing autopsies is his. But whatever, fine.
Okay, I gotcha.
I thought he was
Speaking
dead.
of that joke, what do you consider hack?
That we consider
exactly what I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now here's the thing. Low hanging fruit is a delicacy on this show, and we partake regularly. So it's
I don't really consider that a hack. I call it slop. It's not that it's not funny. It's just it's general appeal, and people want to eat it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Comfort food.
So do you have stuff coming up this week that you want to plug?
No, like I said, July. I'm taking July off. I needed a break. Vacationing, stuff like that. But at the end of the month, I am doing the Green Bay Fringe Festival. I'm doing Best of the Valley, 3 shows that weekend. Get tickets at greenbayfringe.com.
Right. People can go to Trevor Company.
You can get them there too.
Yeah, .com and find out where you're playing. You know what? Summer is tough. It's tough for comedy in the summertime. It's great for music, and because you get all these outdoor shows.
Are you guys all Midwest or like Michigan?
I'm in New York.
Just Steven's Michigan?
Steven's.
No, I'm in Indiana. I'm Indiana.
Okay, well, Midwest. So in the Midwest, I feel like comedy is harder in the summer just because people are so cooped up. And New York too, I guess.
Yeah, so that's kind of a prime time for me to like start working because it is so slow. Like I said, I mean, because even some of my friends who are regularly booked are having shows canceled on them just because there's no ticket sales. They're just not happening in the summertime. It's just it's practically almost non-existent in the Midwest unless you're in the big cities. It's not a thing.
I frown upon that canceling shows because there's no advanced ticket sales. To me, that speaks more to the club. Or the venue not working with you because advanced ticket sales. Listen, talent will always work hard to promote itself when it can, but it doesn't always turn into advanced ticket sales. People come and pay at the door and all that kind of stuff. But if there's advanced ticket sales problem, it's the club should have thought about that before they booked the thing. Not to cancel on short notice. Because of that pisses me off still to this
also,
day.
Clubs are really good at papering rooms with free tickets. So, I mean, there should be butts in seats regardless if they want to make money.
Some of these areas where I'm at in Indiana, like, I mean, you're in towns of just a couple thousand. So, I mean, you're lucky to get 30, 40 people to show up. So even if they want to pass out tickets, there's just not the foot traffic, to try to fill it up. I mean, it's just
But again, they shouldn't have booked it if they didn't know. If they didn't have a plan for promoting it in a correct way. And Jackie has mentioned several times to me that he hates comping tickets because that's the club's money. No, that's not the club's money. The tickets is fucking nothing to the club. It's the food and drink that they're going to sell that makes the money for them.
Yeah,
they should be happy to just do free.
No, I agree, but that's part of why, like, legitimately, if I want to do anything with comedy at some point, I'm gonna have to leave Indiana. But in order to do that, I'm gonna have to build an egg to be able to do that. So,
what part of Indiana do you live in?
I was in Fort Wayne, but I live an hour north of that now. But I'm essentially about an hour's drive from Fort Wayne, South Bend, about 2-3 hours from Indianapolis.
You do Summit City at all?
Regularly, yeah. I do their open mics every week. I'm doing a bringer show on the 17th. The bringer show's kind of they haven't done one in as long as I've known of Summit. I've not heard of them doing a bringer show, but this one is just a full open labeled bringer show.
We're doing one of those too. So Summit is owned by the same people that own the club out of Skyline.
Yeah, and it's and they were very clear about it. Like, this will determine if you get booked in the future or not. And I'm like, well, that's awesome, because I don't have any family in Fort Wayne. I only lived there for 4 years when I met my wife, and then we divorced and left. So I don't have a ton of friends there.
Negative for me. There's something negative. I'm just wondering if I'm the only one who when I see something advertised or promoted and it says bringer show in the fucking promo.
I don't do bringer shows.
As an audience member, I think less of the comedian when I see that. Like, you're putting bringer show on there. I know he's not a draw. He's got to bring his friends and family now.
Well, that's what was frustrating about it is I've been doing their open mics. Like, now, granted, I don't go every week because as you know, being part of that line, you have to sign up a month in advance.
Yeah.
And I don't understand how or who or how they choose who goes on.
I don't really do the mic anymore. Like, once you get past, you don't really have to worry about the mic anymore.
That's the thing is I do the mic. I sign up every month, but I don't get put on every month. And now that I'm an hour away, it's hard for me to justify driving the hour to hopefully get drawn for the lucky bucket on stage. So, that hasn't been an easy way through. So now I have to hope this bringer show does something, and the way they've advertised it is exactly that. It just sounds like, hey, here's some people that might be funny, come check them out. If y'all don't show up for them, we're not booking them.
Yeah,
like, they're real open about it, and it's just like, oh, great.
If I could talk about a little bit more about Mark Norman, who I talked about earlier in the show, and his work ethic. Again, Mark is one of the most prolific joke writers I've ever seen in my life. I mean, he's constantly doing this. But the first encounter I had with him was at a bringer show, Victoria Tornsted's bringer show. If GD will know that name from Barry Katz's.
I know. Okay.
Tornstein, I'm sorry, not Tornstead. Anyway, she had a bringer show at the Gotham Comedy Club, and Mark Norman was there. He was still on his way up at that time. He wasn't like a household name. And he says the word comedy to himself all the time. I noticed this about him. He will just keep it comedy.
Comedy.
All the time. But I'm standing next to him at the door. We're waiting because it was raining out, waiting for cars, taxis, Ubers, whatever he was waiting for. And he's just looking out in front, no eye contact with me. And he just said, comedy. And it's like, this guy is constantly reminding himself what his job is and he's saying it on stage. He's saying it all the time. He's just that much of a work ethic and thinking that my whole life is comedy. And I think
it is work ethic, but he is also autistic. It's like proven.
That's more like a mental tick than me.
Oh, it definitely is. He can't look people in the eye. He's got definitely like Asperger's or something going on, without a doubt. But there's definitely that very strong work ethic. Like, he's constantly writing, constantly trying out new stuff on whether
you don't get to that level without that grind mentality.
That's exactly what I was trying to point out in the beginning. It's that grind that does it. It's not the the we'll see kind of attitude that I was born with a special gift. I just need somebody to recognize it, somebody to discover me.
I hate that so much, man. Oh God, like I just It drives me fucking crazy. Like right place, right time thing. It just oh God. Like my goal. Like, I'm not gonna give up on the comedy thing because like some of these guys don't hit it till they're in their 40s. You know, like I still got time. So like I want to save up money and fucking go somewhere where I can put in that grind. New York, fucking Austin, LA, maybe even fucking Atlanta, somewhere where there's a scene where there's something constantly happening and I don't have to drive fucking 8 hours.
I always thought it would be cool to live in Indianapolis just because you're so close to Louisville. I don't remember what the club is in Indianapolis, but there's a good club there. You're not too far from Chicago. Like everything is pretty good. I feel like in Indianapolis.
It seems that way, but once you start making those drives, it's just it's tedious.
I'm a guy that lives in Appleton, Wisconsin. I have to drive 6 hours for most of my shows. Like it's not.
So, I mean, so you get it, but I mean, it's just in Indiana. There's just also no scenery. It's just flat.
Oh yeah, that is true. I hate driving through Indiana.
It's just flat, and when you're doing that constantly, that 2 hours feels like 4 hours. And then you're doing it tired, and
the contrast between New York, LA, Chicago, parts of Florida, where New York City. Louis C.K. used to talk about when he was first starting. He had a little scooter bike, and he could do 8 different shows and perform at 8 different venues in one night, just going between them. You can't do that in the Midwest. You got to kind of drive an hour and a half, 2 hours to one show, and that's it. If you want to do another show, it's another 4 or 5 hour drive now.
Well, you got to make it worth it. You got to get all the meat off that bone. Like I think you get good really quick when you're like in those limited scenarios, especially if you're trying to make it worth it. Like I know reps are like really important, but if you put value in one thing, that also is important.
Yeah. But I do think it would pay dividends for anybody to do 2 weeks in a hub that has a lot of comedy places, a lot of opportunities that you can
absolutely.
visit one
That's
night.
my short-term goal. Yeah. Short-term goal is a week, is it 2 weeks in New York or somewhere like that where I can get some real reps.
I just got back from a week in Austin, and I feel like I came back just so refreshed, and like I have new stuff I'm like really excited about.
Yeah, and nothing does more for you feeling like you belong than doing a lot of shows, even if some of them aren't the best shows. Doing a lot of shows in a short period. I remember a time we did 7 shows in a weekend from Friday night to Sunday, and I remember on Friday night before our first note, I said to the guys who were not in it as long as I have been in it, I said, at the end of this weekend, you guys are going to feel like professional musicians because you're going to do 7 shows in one weekend. It's going to feel like that's your whole life now. And there is something about feeling like you belong, like I've earned my right to be on the stage, that will definitely change your mindset and how you approach it. So I think there's some value in visiting New York, LA, Austin, Chicago, Orlando. Yeah,
that's what I'm working towards. I want that so bad because I got nothing holding me down here other than the soon-to-be job. So I mean, I'll be able to make that time.
Montreal and Toronto should be included in that too because they both have very tight comedy scenes, and very few people from the United States are taking advantage of that.
I have a guaranteed gig in Vancouver if I can get there.
Yeah. All right. Well, Trevor, it's been a pleasure to get to know you, man. I hope you'll come back because we'll enjoy talking.
Definitely. Yeah. No, you guys are cool. You guys have a good day.
All right.
I hope the kids are listening and they start calling you Daddy Clump.
Yeah.
They'll never hear this or any of my comments.
No, but maybe for a music thing, it would be good to put out like a song under the name Daddy Clump or something.
Maybe. Oh yeah. Redo all the stuff.
Papa Clump.
If you're doing blues, it's Papa Clump.
For some reason,
a fun rap name would be Papa Squat.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. All right. Good luck, man. TrevorClumperComedy.com. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
For being
thanks,
here.
guys.
Bye. Did you see?
No.
Did you see?
I wasn't paying attention.
Well, actually, I was gonna.
Steven saw, right? You saw Steven, didn't you?
Is it the DOJ thing that just was released?
No, that's not what I was going to talk about. I was going to talk about something in music. Ozzy Osbourne and Black Sabbath, Back to the Beginning.
Oh man.
First of all, Ozzy can't sing Black Sabbath anymore, right? So they have Black Sabbath.
Are you talking about his final tour, his last concert that they're going to do?
Yesterday was a big.
He sang some of the songs. He sang some of the songs, but he also had some people come and do some of his other songs. Yeah,
I knew it was coming up. I just didn't know that it was yesterday. I knew it was coming up.
I didn't know it was coming up. It kind of like hit me by surprise. Oh, look at what's happening here.
I was waiting for the countdown. I didn't get to see it live, but I was seeing it pop up on Reddit as it was happening from people there.
All right. Yeah, but and a lot of amazing people. Nuno Bentecourt playing with Black Sabbath. He's a fucking killer. I mean, he's one of the greatest guitar players I think living today. And there's, you can say that there's a long list. I'm not kind of narrowing it down top 10 or whatever, but it's just a super impressive, really. And the guy who works hard. Works hard at his talent and all that stuff. But I didn't know it was because you can't just have that in one place and be done with it, right?
That was his final show. No, that was his final show.
Yeah,
that was his.
So they
according to Sharon.
Yeah.
So
according to him and Sharon Osbourne,
in Australia, you had to travel 2 days to go.
This was according to them his full stop. This was his last hurrah.
And apparently he had put like everything he had into preparing for this show. It's like, and this is
I appreciate that because there's too many guys who say it's going to be our last show, and then it's not. They'll be back in 6 months.
Well, his health, his health is like deteriorating like rapidly.
He's got Parkinson's.
Yeah,
he can't walk anymore.
Oh,
and we also saw the merger of two heavy metal royalties come together. Kelly Osbourne was proposed to by Sid Wilson of Slipknot. At the final show while her dad was there. It was pretty cool. Congratulations, Kelly. And Sid Wilson of Slipknot.
She has nothing to do with music, though, does she?
No, but Sid Wilson does.
Did she have an album out at one point? Didn't she do something like a song or? Oh no, maybe she had a television show, a reality show, or something.
She was part of the reality show.
I think she did a song, and she did a lot of reality TV.
Yeah, she did. Yeah,
I don't fucking care about fucking rock stars' kids. The Beatles kids, 3 of the Beatles kids have a.
They have kids.
No, it was just cool seeing like.
I'm saying, I get it. You got it made your little weenie go boing, bing, bing, bing.
As a fanboy, I was excited to see it happen because Slipknot's my favorite band. So,
George Harrison's son, Sean Lennon, and James McCartney have a Beatles second generation type thing. It's a song. I haven't heard the song. People are saying it's very good. A song called Rip Off. I haven't heard the song, but I don't care about kids.
Well, Ringo doesn't have any kids, or they just didn't want Ringo playing with them.
Oh, Zach Starkey's in the band. So maybe Danny Harrison is not in the band. Zach Starkey. I know it's just 3 of them. Ringo was talking about how proud he is of Zach. Zach is in the Who. I mean, and he's played with lots of bands. Zach Starkey's.
Now that is one. When I watch these documentaries about the bands and especially bands that came out in the 60s and 70s and maybe even the 80s, the camaraderie, how close they were. It seems like everybody knew everybody. It's just amazing to me the fact that especially in England. Like the Who would be sitting there, and Paul McCartney was sitting out in the audience, and he comes up and says, "Hey, Roger Daltrey, can I sit in a song with you?" That kind of shit. It's just amazing.
There was no camaraderie between Jeff Beck and John Paul Jones. Did you know that?
Well, you mentioned that, but that's not what Jeff told me. Jeff told me he did have it until that one moment.
The stupidest reason to never talk to somebody is that. I mean, he didn't.
You think it's dumber than people from Pink Floyd not talking to each other?
From Pink Floyd. Well, yes. No.
For the money.
No, did they get? But no, I don't think. I think Pink Floyd is Roger Waters, but he's not doing it with David Gilmour, right? David Gilmour.
I thought they had a business deal that so they could sell their catalog or something.
Maybe they reconcile. Yeah, maybe they
reconcile for the money.
Yeah, I'm sure that. No, I don't think they reconciled. I think they agreed to sell the catalog and take their. But Gilmore is all over Roger Waters being a Nazi and all that. And he's always been a Nazi. I never liked the fucking guy. He was never worth it. Then they don't love each other. They hate each other still. But that's a good reason to say because a guy got hired to be the arranger on a track you didn't want to do, which turned out to be your biggest fucking hit, the only hit you ever had.
Was that the Rock and Roll Hoochie Cool? No,
I'm
sorry.
Silver Lining, Hey Ho, Silver Lining was Jeff Beck in 1967, his only top 10 hit. But he wasn't about making hits. Jeff Beck was more about integrity of the music and all that stuff. He didn't care about it, but he didn't want to do the song. His manager said, "This is going to be a hit. We'll do it." They hired John Paul Jones to be a bass session man, and while he was there, he arranged the thing. Jeff Beck, for some reason, held a grudge against that. Like it's his fault that record was a hit and all that stuff. Like, oh, thanks. I'm mad at you for putting extra money in my pocket, you asshole.
If I understand this correctly, and this is totally different, there was the Thriller album when the song that they got Eddie Van Halen to play the guitar solo on.
Yeah,
they had a guitarist on that record already. Who already had a guitar solo. He already had all the stuff figured out. They got Eddie Van Halen comes in. The way I understand, he comes in, does the solo, and then this other guy's like bumped.
No, that ain't what happened. Steve Lucas had played the rhythm parts, and he didn't get bumped. His rhythm parts are still in there. He also played bass on that.
I understood he was going to play. Originally, he was going to play the solo before.
No, he did. He refused to play the solo. He was the one who said we should get Eddie to play. He was good friends with Eddie.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So he brought him in. So no, somebody told you lies about that, but that's not uncommon. People.
I just misremember the interview. That's all. It's not somebody told me a lie.
I got it straight from Steve Lucas's mouth, so I believe.
I was watching one of his interviews. So I must have misunderstood it. That's all. I don't think he lied to me.
No, he lied to you. Lied.
I think I misunderstood.
PD's listening. Let's just tell him that Steven is not a talented.
It's been like what 40 years since the album came out. Was it 50 years? So it's like 40 years since I've heard
42 years, something like that. 1983. Somewhere.
I said, how old is Thriller?
It's a long time ago. Before Steven was born. Before Slipknot and Kelly Osbourne were even conceived.
Well, it can't be 50 years. Maybe it's 30. Well,
hold on.
I think it may be 30.
Members of Slipknot they're all about my parents' age, so they were probably already conceived.
The band was not conceived yet.
Oh no,
40 years ago. Band hasn't been around 40 years, right?
Okay, the record was released in 1982.
See, that's 43 years ago. See that, Steven? 43 years ago.
So I'm trying to remember an interview from 30 years ago or 32, 33 years ago. So it's just my memory. He didn't lie.
Yeah, Slipknot formed in 1995.
So. Yeah. You were a baby.
I was 4.
So that's a baby.
Yeah, I discovered my first Slipknot album when I was 9 years old.
Wow.
I discovered a Slipknot album never.
I have it lying right under my Crack the Sky collection. I just never got around.
But it does make me feel old that their kids, that 2 of their members of Slipknot have kids who have formed a band, and I am also a fan of that band. It does make me feel old.
I don't know the name. I don't even know the names of the members of Crack the Sky. I don't. I think there's a guy named Rick something with a W. No, Rick
Crack
and
Sky.
Sky.
It's a trio. Like Emerson, Lake and Palmer, Crack the Sky.
GD, now with you sitting there with you probably should have taken the green screen down, because now people can edit you into pretty much anything.
I know. I know. But I'm not important enough for anybody to do anything so they can damage.
I gotta check my mail to see if StreamYard has sent me anything about a fix on that yet.
Yeah, I did that on purpose, Stephen. But I don't think anybody's going to take advantage of it, because I've done this like several times before. No one's ever done anything like that.
I gotta.
I'm not important enough. Even when I set things up so that people can exploit it, it doesn't happen.
I got a scathing review about it just came in a little while ago. I was reading it while Trevor was talking there. about the emergency paint party. No, fucking emergency paint party. Here's the thing. Don't you hate a useless lie, like an unnecessary lie? Somebody tells you a lie that you didn't have to lie about.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So
Not that there's, yeah, I agree.
the lie that
100%.
came in Saturday morning was, we just booked a party for this afternoon and we need somebody to do it. So they told me that, and all right, I can do it. And so I went and did it. And then when I got there, I told the lady, I said, I just got booked on this today. I realized you just booked this morning. Like, she said, no, we booked this 2 months ago. These fucking people. Why? They could have just said the person who was going to do it bailed at the last moment.
Yeah,
We need
it's
you
a
to do it.
useless fucking lie. It makes no sense. It's
Right. So I scrambled to get there on time, and now I got a scathing review on my performance. They apparently they weren't happy with the pacing. I did it too fast. Blah blah blah. Some of it very valid critique, but I'm still now. They want me to explain my side of the story. I'm going to say they're absolutely right, but also, there's no need to fucking give me this useless lie. You lied to me, and that made everybody look bad when I said. I just found out about this today. Because I thought it was booked that day. Now the person in the thing is saying I booked 2.5 months ago. What's with this fucking company? They're just telling the guy about it today. But so it's right away. It was.
As a general rule of thumb, you do try to, especially if it's a different thing. Like if you've never painted like a frog before, and they say this is a frog party, you would work on frog technique. I mean, I do know that. Well, I do assume that about you. I don't know.
Yeah.
You've heard me. I've heard you say these things. I've never seen it. So
we've seen Matt practice because when a few of the times that he's done his paintings on here, he goes,
"No, I don't watch. I listen. I don't watch. I listen."
But he'll be like, he'll say, "Hey, I'm going to be doing this here coming up, so I'd like to I want to get a couple of these in," and he does a practice painting. Yeah, so he gets prep in. So when he gets a fucking 4-hour notice. They can go fuck
I don't
themselves.
actually watch. I can't watch. It's like watching paint dry. So I just listen. No.
I can't fucking click on this shit. This stupid fucking mouse. Slappyard said, Matt, what is your opinion of talentless hacks such as myself learning to draw using an iPad and software? I think it's a great well, first of all, I would not call you a talentless hack. Maybe talentless, because I think 99.99999% of the world are talentless. But hack, no. But I think clearly you're out there doing work. But I think that's all. Anything you can do, I think you can learn to use all the digital tools to improve.
Yeah, dude. Hey, look,
Carl Hamburger made fun of me for doing that because I was doing a Photoshop Bob Ross type of class. You definitely can learn the fundamentals, the techniques, and you can't learn to use the brushes necessarily, although a lot of paint apps now have real simulated brushes.
I'd say if you use the Apple Pencil with the iPad, you can. It's close. That's what I've been using to try to learn here and there with drawing. Is just using this with basic pencil techniques.
Yeah,
a lot of fun.
I'm all for it, man. Anything that, and if the bottom line is if you find the enjoyment in creating using digital tools, fucking do it. Just do it. I'm not a big believer in. It's not. Here's a thing that I'm still stuck on. A couple of months later, is this fucking stuff about people who get hung up on tools and how things are done. A great piece of art. You don't look at the Mona Lisa and say, "Yeah, but he used a spoon to get that one stroke in rather than a brush." I mean, you don't think about the techniques that went into it. You're appreciating the final piece of art. In music and comedy and fucking acting, no matter what your craft is, it's the final product makes people like it, enjoy it, touches them in some way. Not like Steven touches kids, but in other ways.
Oh man, it was almost a whole fucking episode.
No,
Damn it.
we couldn't. I had a thing there, reminder to talk about
how many incidents, how many days without an incident.
Right.
Zero. So, it's been a fucking zero forever.
Okay, Matt, I have an art question. This isn't for Steven because he's a hack, but when you paint and draw, did you do portraits? Did you used to do portraits?
Portraits are the hardest fucking things. I have done them. I did one of Elizabeth Taylor, which I thought came out pretty good. Took me 6 months. 6 months working on one painting, which I don't really like to do. I think I like to do. There are people who I talk to all the time now who spend months and weeks or months on paintings. I'm a guy. If I don't get it done in one day, it's not going to get done. I just so. But portraits are really, really difficult. The human face, the head shape, all that kind of stuff. Wow, it's not easy to reproduce, and I admire anybody who can do it, and God bless them.
You can draw Steven, you just have to draw a potato.
I used to do some portraits, but I could never do my own face. You know, I did a self nude.
I'll do your face,
and I got everything else from like the shoulder down. I got right, but I could never get the face right. I cannot do my own face. I was just wondering if you had trouble painting or doing your own face.
I can't even imagine what psychological fucking disease you have that causes that, but we'll leave that up. You know, I mentioned Leonardo. The Mona Lisa is a self-portrait, supposedly. That's really Leonardo's face. Working on Steven's portrait, he likes it so far.
No, I don't like it so far, but I'm not going to critique your work because
you've seen it. You actually seen it. Really?
Yeah.
Are you not flattered that he's working on a portrait of you? That
it weirds me out that I live rent free in his head like I do, but that's about it. No, I love John. He's awesome. Just fucking around.
Yeah,
but also fuck that guy.
Matt, what is this picture you have here that's been up for the whole show with the little?
What are you talking about? He showed that at the beginning.
Did you?
Yeah.
This one?
Yeah.
I didn't see that. I don't remember seeing that.
Well, they would. When I was talking about the client list, because yesterday they came out, the FBI and DOJ said Epstein did not have any client lists. What about the little black book?
Well, I remember that. I just don't remember the picture.
Well, yeah, and I brought up the book. I said, them holding up the book. I said, remember, this is just 2 months ago. They were celebrating. They have the era. They said right there, they had the Epstein files and his client list. That's what that was about. That book was supposed to contain the thing they say doesn't exist now.
They were holding MAGA hats just because they were trying to signal to you that he's in the list. Is it
possible that it's like was it George? No, it was Donald Trump. Like he had all these papers that supposed to have been books, and they actually showed a back like another angle. You can see that the pages are all blank. It was just piles of it, so it would look impressive. Is that, you think that could have been it? Like they had the cover, so it looked impressive, but there's actually nothing in it.
Oh, definitely possible. They had that book like they showed to Leslie Stahl, which was his healthcare plan, which was like that, and it had nothing in it.
Right.
But the fact that they were out there saying we have the list. So now you either have to admit you're a fucking goddamn liar because you said you had the list, or you're a goddamn liar now that you're saying that the list doesn't exist. Which is it? Either way, you're a goddamn liar.
They haven't decided which lie they're going to admit to. I think they're like mid-lie. They don't know which lie they want to admit to.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think you're right.
Right now, they're holding a meeting trying to decide which lie they're going to discard.
No, I think they've come to the conclusion that they can't release the list because somebody will find the unredacted list, which has Trump's name all over it. We can't protect Trump well enough, so we're not going to put it out there. That is what they've agreed to. But the bottom line is, the unmistakable truth is they're a goddamn liar. One way or another, you're a goddamn liar. But the cult will never fucking make that connection. Yeah, one way or another, they're fucking lying to you. If they're lying to you about that, they're going to lie to you about everything. Hello, has the light bulb gone off yet? But yeah, they're not putting it out there because Trump is it. Because they don't want the boss to go in that world. All the made up stuff in that world is basically saying Donald Trump and preparing. So if something comes out, Trump can say, there was no list. They're making that up. It's all fake news, whatever. It's fucked up. It's all fucked up. I didn't realize that picture was still in there, though. See, this is the new StreamYard. You can't get rid of shit once you bring it in.
This whole week, starting yesterday, and up to Sunday, I'm helping out with shooting a pilot. A friend of mine is doing, and yesterday was like a long fucking day. But I'm getting to hang out with Hollywood types, Hollywood
Hollywood
camera
type
people. Yeah, camera people, sound people.
Illuminati types.
Hollywood type sounds like I don't know, casting couch
party?
people. Harvey Weinstein.
No, these are people who've like worked on movies and stuff from Hollywood.
So
That's exactly what we're saying.
Casting couch people.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're not in directing. They're like I said, they're like
the money people, the ones you have to blow.
Yeah, the lights, the sound, all those people.
Yeah.
The people that have to sign the NDAs when they watch the bigwigs fuck.
I'm learning a bit from those people's. Yeah,
What are you learning?
It's exhausting.
You learn how to give a good blowjob? Learn how to give a proper blowjob?
No, I already knew how to do that. At least good enough for myself. I haven't tried it in like over 50 years, but but it was okay. I did all right for my first one, my first and only one. I did all right. I was happy with it,
That's all that matters. The client was happy.
Yeah, I was happy.
I'm gonna have to. Now, I think you know this about me. I'm gonna tell the truth. Yeah, they're right. Their criticism of me is absolutely spot on. I was too fast. I was working in a hurry. I'm not going to try to make excuses for it. It was just not a good day. So the client's not happy. Sorry, man. Don't fucking hire me again for your little
the next emergency you have. Don't think of me.
Right.
Yeah. How about you think of me next time you have something nice, well planned out, or for in a week or two?
Yeah, it's 11 o'clock in the morning. I gotta be there in a couple of hours now. And it's 2 hours away and all that stuff, and driving in traffic on a holiday weekend. And then I have to go to a place where I'm not comfortable with the neighborhood anyway. Yeah, don't do that to me. And then maybe you get a better result. I'm sorry. But that sounds like I'm making an excuse there. I'm not making an excuse. They're right. I sucked yesterday or Saturday, whenever it was. But they gave me $100 tip. How bad could I have sucked? They didn't have to give me $100.
Because if you're really good, they were going to give you $500.
Wow. You think?
He didn't think about that. He's like, fuck, that $100 is insulting now. God damn it.
That's a fucking insult.
Wow, GD, way to ruin his perspective. Wow, hey, man, at least I made $100. No, GD's like, wow, you only made $100?
No, I don't. No, I don't care about that. I'm just thinking about because the whole tipping. I kind of have an idea of who's going to tip and who's not going to tip. Generally, the poorer people tip better than the richer people. And you're like, who's throwing?
Because rich people hold on to their money. That's how they got rich. Poor people spend their money. That's why
there's that perspective on it. Definitely, too. They're not big tippers, but you can almost predict the tip you're going to get. I was surprised to get the $100 tip.
I'm not a big tipper, but I'm bigger at the base.
Oh.
There's low hanging fruit.
Hell yeah.
Slop. There's low hanging fruit. Then there's slop.
That's road. That fucking ain't even fruit. It's roadkill.
Then there's shit that even scavengers.
Hey, guys, that was for an audience of one. This guy. All right. So,
I don't know if you know this about that guy, but that guy is a talentless hack. Let me.
Dwayne would have loved you for that. Then
fine.
Dwayne would have said, right for your audience of one.
That'll be a 17th reason why it's no big deal.
You guys ever hear of Oliver the Humanzee?
The fuck does that mean?
Oliver the Humanzee. I'll say
well, I think that we should all do this now, Stephen. I think that we should all do this. Yeah, we should all.
Right.
Go ahead, do it. Right, Let me see you do that. Let me see you do that.
Oh no, it's not gone at all. Because I don't fucking do sleight of hand. I'm not a fucking.
Man, I used to do that, and I know I told this story before, but I was on a bus trip. I was chaperoning a bunch of kindergartners and first graders, and I did some sleight of hand, and like for the next 2 hours on the bus, I kept saying, "Do it again."
Yeah, that's what they do. When you do magic parties for kids, they just want you to do the same trick over and over again.
Yeah, and I had a coin. I had a quarter, And over again, I kept trying to say, pull it up my ear, pull it up my nose, pull it up my hair. You know.
So the answer to my question is no. We have never heard of Oliver the Human Z, right?
No. Okay, no, I haven't.
Which is I never did until last night either, which bothers me because supposedly what I heard last night, it was a worldwide phenomenon where people were he was the biggest star in the world for about 2 years in the 90s. He was thought to be a hybrid human chimpanzee. Some people called him. He came to New York. They called him Bigfoot. Bigfoot comes to New York. He's not Bigfoot. They talked to his handlers and talked about the difference between him and a chimpanzee. They were far more human-like. He acted. He walked upright all the time. Never walked on all fours. He had a face that looked like a human. And I was watching some of the video on it, and they were talking about how this was a big thing that rocked the world. Oliver the Human Z, and what exactly was he? And now he's still alive, Oliver, and they found him, and they're doing some advanced DNA testing on him to find out what his story is. Like, did some weird motherfucker in Africa go fuck a chimpanzee and
I don't think that will
probably a
work
government
because
experiment.
That would work because there's a mismatch in the number of chromosomes, right? The number of chromosomes have to match up because you get half from one parent, half from the other. If you have a parent that has 47 chromosomes and the other parent only has 41 chromosomes, what's going to happen to those extra 6 chromosomes?
I don't know, but they're doing advanced DNA testing on him now to figure out exactly what the deal is with Oliver. Could have just, the simple explanation would be just a chimpanzee that is just different. He's just like whatever.
He's on the spectrum.
Yeah, he's on the spectrum, but he definitely. I mean, from what I saw, definitely had a more human face, and the woman who raised him when he was a baby, she talked about
Botox. That's Botox. You give him enough Botox, his face looks human.
I don't know. No, the face.
What's
is
his
just
name again?
Different shit. Oliver the Human Z.
What's his Oliver?
Oliver the Human Z.
And then, Steven, I'm going to warn you, once you see it, you're not going to be able to unsee it, and it's going to give you nightmares.
That's pretty true.
I know. I'm pulling it up for everybody. I'm pulling it up for everybody.
Don't pull it up for me. I don't want to see it.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't. It disturb. No, it would disturb.
Close your eyes then. Close your eyes. Steven, if you want to show it. Show you Human Z. Yeah. So the middle one was probably the closest one to what I saw in the video there. No, the one right to the right of that.
Here, hold on. Let me open up images here. There we go.
Yeah. Now the second one from the left on the top. This one right here.
This one right here?
This guy. Yeah. That's basically what he looked like in the video. And he looked like he was ready to talk the whole fucking time. I was like waiting for him to make words and stuff. But different kind of chin structure, different head shape. It was bald. The face was far more human. But anyway, so they're going to find out what the deal is. I'm thinking it's not impossible that it was just some sick fuck fucking a chimpanzee.
All right, he's gone. He's gone. He's gone. He's gone.
You know, I can't believe you.
Gone. I promise. I promise. If he's not gone, I'll punch myself in the face.
He's in the upper left-hand corner now.
Oh, you can't. You can't. Oh, you got rid of it from. You didn't put it down there. You just shared the screen.
It's Oliver.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Oliver. But
I also had to wait for it to disappear from my phone because I have 2 screens open, and the phone is
question
like 30 seconds behind.
All of this. The only question I really had is, where the fuck was I when this was like the big? He was coming to New York. It was all over the front page because they showed the front page of papers and news headlines and all this stuff.
How old
was you? were alive. Yeah,
how old were you?
But, oh well, I was in 32, 33.
Oh, I was gonna say maybe this was while you were like train hopping around the country and shit.
No, this is when you were like 2 years old or something, like 93, maybe 94. I mean,
now. Again, I guess I didn't watch on purpose, but was there a resemblance between that and, let's say, somebody else, like maybe Steven or something? That's another celebrity.
Wow. You're an asshole.
I am an asshole, but that's
Wow.
okay.
He's an asshole. Leo, 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 Leo.
I'm not one of those people that no matter who you meet, they're going to say he was the nicest, most kind, loving person. They're not going to say that about me. Some people will say that, and some people will go, "No,
I
he
think
was a
that was
dick."
the Manchurian Candidate you're referencing there, and that was just because they were hypnotized to say that about.
No, there was some comedian y'all was talking about earlier, and y'all said that everybody says he's the nicest person. He's the nicest person, and I said, no, that's not me.
So since Oliver died, they're gonna do that testing. Trying to see if there was a timeline on when they'll have results.
Really? Because the video was just like released like 2 weeks ago. I was watching it last
That's
night.
how the internet works.
They said they found him he was still alive. Oh, he died in the last 2 weeks?
The test killed him. They cut him in half to see how many rings he had to find out how old he was.
This was Ken 5 News, like a news station, June 5th of 2012.
Wow, so maybe somebody just uploading a very old
the
video.
Famous chimp dies.
That's disappointing.
Yeah.
So we'll never know. I mean, obviously,
a chimpanzee named Oliver, known for his upright stature and human-like traits, has died at the Texas refuge. Officials at Primarily Primates in San Antonio believe Oliver was at least 55 years old.
55. Wow. All right. So I guess we'll never know about what he was. I want to show you something. I don't know if you can see this and make it out. Do you see this important notification here from YouTube? It says your content cannot be monetized. Your video, American populist Huey Long of Louisiana, Thomas E. Patterson, episode 917, cannot be monetized due to one or more copyright claims. You see that? It says this is not a copyright strike, but it's one or more copyright claims, so it can't be monetized. Okay? This is what YouTube's saying. Now, if I click view options, it says, what does it say? This video can't be monetized. The restriction is not due to copyright issues. No copyrighted content was found in your video. What the fuck? Can you make any sense of that at all?
That makes no fucking sense at all.
No.
What?
There's no copyright issues, but they can't monetize it because of.
They say. But they start by saying it can't be monetized because of copyright issues, 2 copyright issues. If you click on it, it says can't be compromised. This is not due to copyright issues. Then it says no copyright issues were found. What? What the fuck? YouTube, you're very confusing. It can't be monetized because of copyright. It's not a copyright strike. There are just copyright issues. Now I'm about to go look through the whole video to find out what did I use that was somebody else's content so I could take it out. And then I read further in. It says there is nothing there. It's somebody's got to start making sense.
Okay, now my question is there a difference between a copyright issue and a copyright strike? Like, the copyright strike is when somebody else complains about it and goes like, no, we own that. And the copyright issue is somebody goes like, well, that may not be in the public domain. Or it may not be fair use or something.
No, copyright strike means the company, the people who you've used their stuff are saying take it down. And that where copyright issue that is not a copyright strike, they're saying no, leave it up. Just don't give him the money, give it to us. So the money that gets created from the ad revenue goes to their account, not to mine on that. And they'll say, yeah, leave it up forever. There's a copyright issue. We own the copyright, but we're taking all the money from the guy. That's different than them saying take it down. And once if they say take it down, then YouTube will give you a strike, and then you get banned for like 6 days. Or it gets more severe as it goes along. But in any case, there's no fucking.
What happened to all of our viewers today? Did they all get their hands blown off over the weekend?
Tired. People are tired. People are
I know.
tired.
I'm exhausted. I was so close. I was this close to saying I can't do it.
I thought about it this morning too. I said I was telling myself I was pouring my coffee. I've never called in sick to this program, which is a miracle because when I worked day jobs, I would do nothing but call in sick all the time. I've never called in sick once, which says a lot about. I guess I must like doing this or something. But so yeah, it's just weird that they say there was there's copyright issues, and then there's no copyright issues.
Now, Matt, you were singing for what, like 4 hours on the July 4th?
I did total of 5.5 hours. The last
singing.
hour and a half was out in the hot sun. Man of the
How
people.
did your throat hold up after that? Because I know sometimes I don't know. I think if I make the mistake of drinking a soda, my voice is like shit. But if I just stick with drinking water, my throat is usually good for most of those hours. Also, if I don't stretch my range, if I don't like try to keep hitting the high notes and stuff, or do you get better or worse as you sing longer?
You get better I get better for a certain period of time, and then it gets fatigued. But it wasn't so much it was the standing out in the hot sun, feeling tired. The sun beats the fuck out of you. It's a physical thing. You start to feel tired getting beat in the hot sun. But I wasn't going to go stand in the shade under a gazebo while all these other people, the audience is out in the hot sun. And I said that. I said, I'm out here in the sun with you people because I'm a man of the people. I got the loudest applause you could ever expect to get from old people in a nursing home situation.
I did that yesterday, but I didn't have any applause because it was just me and the one of the other PAs out in the sun. Everybody else was inside. They wanted this shot from the outside through the window. Everybody else is inside, and just me and his name is Berlin. Me and Berlin are outside, with the screens. And other than that, we have a hot fucking light that we're shining. The light's like 150 degrees that we're shining through a silk screen to shine through the window.
Dude, I was outside from Thursday till Saturday night. It sucked, man. Thursday we went to the zoo, then we went to the pool.
Take it to the zoo.
Yeah, and then by the time we went to fireworks on the 3rd, and then Friday I went to a party for 4th of July, which was outside, and we were outside until 2 a.m. and the humidity just got worse the whole time. And then I have no AC in my truck, so driving in between places was no relief. And I have leather seats, so it just cooked me. It was great. It was wonderful.
Nice.
There was a point where Berlin asked me to relay a message. I was the closest. I had to yell it across the room. It was just convenient to yell it across the room. And he asked me, there was 2 pieces of equipment that he wanted to make sure that they had inside. Otherwise, we had to bring it in. And so I had never, the 2 words were so fucking foreign to me. I was not sure, even after he said it twice, if I was going to be able to pronounce it again. So I said to them, I said, okay, I'm going to do my best to pronounce these 2 words. If you mock me, you will ruin my confidence. I will go home for the rest of the day. So,
wow.
I'd never, it's because these are industry words. They're not part of my vernacular. I don't know if I'm hearing it. I said, can I make those sounds again in English?
Yeah. Tony Walker, one of his Knock 'em Dead comedy things, the family is the Botchagaloops. I like how you can't. I mean, I'm going to fuck that up. I work for the Botchagaloops. No, I can't say that. So anyway,
it's kind of like when you first started trying to say push-patak.
Yeah, right, exactly. You're gonna when you want a Guinea name, I can come up with a better Guinea name that's than Botchagaloop. That's not even Italian. Botchagaloop. No Italian name ends in loop.
I think actually
it would be Lupe, Lupo.
Welcome to Minucci's. Welcome to Minucci.
Wouldn't Tony know that? Isn't Tony Italian? Wouldn't he know that?
His last name is Walker. I think he does have some Italian blood, but not his surname is Walker. So.
Yeah, but he could have like an Italian mama.
He seems like he's kind of half Guinea or something. The leg was Italian. They had to cut it off. Christian Ray Flores will be with us tomorrow, who's an entrepreneur, author, philanthropist, and coach. You don't like him already, do you? I could tell. Look, Steven's shaking his computer.
I know Robert Urie's coming up this week. Friday,
and we have nobody Wednesday or Thursday.
I'll work on that.
I'll see if I can get Jackie, maybe. But we'll see. I don't fucking care. Look, I got hiccups. It's time to say goodbye, isn't it?
To all
Isn't
friends
it?
and family.
Steve's
Yeah,
like,
'cause I have to pack a lunch because I'm doing the set soon. I'm helping out.
Helping out.
Yeah, with this, I'm going to, when I leave here, I'm going to drive to they're shooting in Westminster. So they're shooting like 15 minutes from my house. So once I leave here, I'm going there to help on the set.
All right.
Don't hop on it. You should probably just walk onto it.
No, I need to hop. I can't walk. It's too far.
So they cut your leg off too, huh?
Nice.
All right. It seems to be epidemic around here, cutting the legs off. So
yeah.
That's it. You talentless hacks. I just have a message for you. I want to relay to you from the boss. He said, "Don't forget to turn on your radio."
Don't forget, July 19th. I'm going to be on Plug.
Mannequin pussy.
What was July 19th?
Mannequin pussy.
What was July 19th?
Oh, that's okay.
It's the 19th of July.
Yeah.
July 10th is what they call it.
Yeah.
All right. What, did you want to say something, Stephen?
July 17th, your show, SummitCityComedyClub.com. Group code, Stephen Sitcom Ortiz.
Sounds like a talentless hack.
It is. Yep. I wouldn't go either. Fuck it. I quit.
All right. Don't forget to anyway.
That's what I call schlong division.
Are you a retard?
to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me.